Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. I note that the hour has come and that a quorum of the council is present. This council will now come to order. All members have taken their seats. All visitors have retired to outside the rails. Before proceeding, I will ask all those present to please set your cell phones to silent or vibrate. Any sidebar conversations, I will ask that you take it outside the chambers. To give our invocation this morning, the chair recognizes Rabbi Ari Lev Fornari of Kol Zedek Synagogue. He is here today as the guest of our council member, Ru Landau. I will ask all members and guests to please rise. Rabbi, please join the podium and introduce your guests as well.
Good morning, City Council.
Good morning.
I'm joined here by Rabbi Monica Gomery. We are the rabbis of Kol Zedek Synagogue in West Philadelphia, and it's an incredible honor to be here on behalf of our beloved member, Council Member Landau, to be a member of Council Member Gautier's district, and to be a colleague and honorary community member with Council Member Reverend O'Rourke. You all are lawmakers, and as it turns out, we Jews do law also. Our law we call halacha, and the word halacha in Hebrew, it actually means to walk as on a path, to put one foot in front of the other. That's what it is to make law, is to actually put your ideas into practice. And in Jewish tradition, law lives in radical tension. To be strict on one idea is inherently to be lenient on another. This is the inherently imperfect nature of law. We cannot adhere to all of our highest values at once. And so we must make choices. And this moment in time, in our city and in our world, places before us a very difficult series of choices. On the one hand, Jewish tradition teaches that we are obligated to not say that which cannot yet be heard. We are obligated to not say that which cannot yet be heard. And on the other hand, Jewish tradition teaches that if we see injustice in our own homes, we are obligated to speak out in protest. If we see injustice in our own neighborhoods, we are obligated to speak out in protest. If we see injustice in our city, we are obligated to speak out in protest. If we see injustice in the world, anywhere in the world, we as human beings, wherever we find ourselves, are obligated to speak out in protest. What is it to be called, to be obligated to speak out in protest, and to wonder at the same time, can it be heard? Can the protest be heard? How can I voice my message? How can we make laws and practices that can be heard in such a way as to change the injustice before us? Now, the Babylonian Talmud, which is a piece of ancient wisdom some 2,000 years old, it doesn't just say that we are obligated to speak out against those injustices. It says that anyone who has the ability and chooses not to speak out against injustice, they themselves become obligated. They themselves become guilty of those injustices. It is upon you to know that you are responsible if you have the ability to speak out. So you as city council, you as brave civil servants, are called to be bold. Are called to be bold to speak out about injustices in your neighborhoods, in the districts that you serve, in the city-wide that you serve together, and certainly in the wide world which we are all witnessing grave injustice. Now, one of the questions is, what should those laws sound like? What is the language? What words will most allow our protest to be heard? And it can be difficult to find the right words. It can be difficult to build unity across language, across divisions, across neighborhoods and identities and politics. So I want to encourage you to use your inner wisdom to guide you there. And one of the ways we do that at Kol Tzedek is through song. So we are actually going to take a moment to sing together this morning, because in our experience, it's actually the inner quiet and the channeling of song that builds power and unity, such that we cannot speak out against injustice in the singular, but we can do so in the collective, which is what is needed in order to bring safety and security and a sense of collective thriving here in the city of Philadelphia, in each of the neighborhoods you serve, and certainly in the wide world that we are facing. So I'm honored to invite Rabbi Monica Gomery to lead us in song this morning.
I know this room is going to sing with me. The words to the melody are on the desks of the council people, and we invite you all to listen and to join in as you are moved. We rise, humbly hearted, rise, won't be divided, rise, with spirit to guide us, rise. We can get a little bit of a beat. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here, and we rise. All of the children rise. Elders with wisdom rise. Ancestors surround us, rise. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. Everyone, one more time. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here.
I'll use these words to close us. This morning we pray that we arrive to this service humbly hearted, with a commitment to not be divided, to allow our higher spirits to guide us, with children surrounding us, with elders with wisdom in our presence. We inspire City Council, and we ask that you rise to the challenge before you to bring us closer to a world where there is no injustice. And let us say, Amen.
Amen. Council will now be at ease. The next order of business is the approval of the journal of the meeting of Thursday, May the 2nd, 2024. The chair recognizes Councilmember Cindy Bass.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the journal of the meeting of Thursday, May 2nd, 2024 be approved.
It has been moved and properly seconded that the journal of the meeting of Thursday, May the 2nd of 2024 stand approved. All those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it, and the journal is approved. The next order of business is request for leave of absence, and the chair recognizes Councilmember Kathy Gilmore Richardson.
Thank you, Mr. President. On behalf of the majority, a leave of absence is requested for Councilmember Ahmad.
The chair thanks the council member. Leave will be granted. The chair recognizes Councilmember Brooks.
Good morning, Council President. On behalf of minority, there are no requests for leaves of absence today.
The chair thanks the council member. The chair now recognizes Councilmember Gilmore Richardson for a motion concerning certain legislative matters that may arise during the course of today's session of council and that were not listed on the calendar circulated prior to today's session.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that any of the following matters, if considered today, may be added to the agenda for this session of council and as required by law, subsequently published on an amended agenda after the consideration of those matters. Resolutions authorizing hearings, amendments to bills on first reading, the reconsideration of a bill vetoed by or recalled from the mayor, amendments to bills recalled from the mayor, resolutions taking substantive action to be voted on in this session, a motion to withdraw a bill or resolution that is not on the calendar, and a motion placing a bill or resolution on or returning a bill or resolution from the suspension calendar that is not listed on today's calendar. The purpose of this motion is to provide the public with notice concerning possible actions by council that arose too late to be included on the calendar that was published prior to today's session.
It has been moved and properly seconded that the legislative matters stated by Councilmember Gilmore Richardson may be added to the agenda for today should those matters arise during the course of this session of council. All those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it, and the motion carries. The chair will dispense with the regular order of business to recognize the guests and visitors joining us in chambers this morning. On behalf of all members of City Council, we welcome you to our council session. We appreciate your taking the time to join us as we attend to the legislative affairs of our city. We certainly invite you to come again. We also have special guests representing the American Ethiopian Public Affairs Committee, our nation's leading Ethiopian diaspora group. Their leadership is here today to accept the resolution made by Councilmember Jim Harity on urging the President of the United States, Joe Biden, and Congress to re-examine foreign policy. Joining us today are Executive Chairman Mesfin Teganu, Secretary Yom Fesha, Treasurer Taylor Hun Degafu. At this time, the chair recognizes Councilmember Jim Harity.
Thank you, Council President. I would like to thank you also for allowing me to recognize the American Ethiopian Public Affairs Committee, and also thank Chris Drum for setting this up. We did the resolution a little while ago, and they just got the chance to come in to receive it. I encourage everyone to stop and say hello to the bishop. You know, I'm a history guy. I love history, and Ethiopia is so interesting to me. Their history goes back millennia, tracing all the way back to Menelik, who we know was the son of the Queen of Sheba and Solomon. So I think it's just fitting that we do a resolution calling on the president to do the right thing. as we always do. We always call people out when we think they're not doing the right thing, and you know, we gotta continue on. So I thank you, and I thank all the delegation. If you please stand so we can welcome you. Thank you, Council President.
You're welcome. The chair recognizes Councilmember Brian O'Neill.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm going to go a little out of order today because of the importance of the resolution I'm going to be introducing and the person behind it. It's being offered on behalf of yourself and me, the big airports in your district, the small airports in mine, and Jim Tyrell grew up in your district, but as an adult, he's been in my district for a long time. And he didn't want a presentation. Jim is sitting over there with his wife, Mary Ellen, his son, Jimmy, and his daughter, Kelsey. Kelsey's name's very easy to remember now because it's somebody's last name in town. But Jim, if you could stand with Mary Ellen and your two children. Jim has been with the city, with the airport for 37 years. His entire career has been spent there. He knows every job down there. He knows every department. He is so responsive. He's the perfect public servant, especially if you're in a district trying to find something out about an airline, about an airport issue, and you know this well, Mr. President. There's nothing like Jim Tyrell because he's a first call, first ring answer, and reverse that, you answer him on his first ring too. He's that good and has been a gem for the city, for Northeast Airport, Philly International, and I just can't say enough about him. We're really going to miss him. He stayed an extra year. He was really going to retire last year, but he helped a new director and also groomed his successor and mentored her. So Jim is humble, but I wanted to have this stand out in his memory and his family's and this council, okay? Thank you. I'll be introducing it later, but I wanted to say it now. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations, Jim. Appreciate your support. Thank you for your hard work and your dedication to the city of Philadelphia. At this time, the chair recognizes Councilmember Jones, who will present a resolution honoring and congratulating the National Coalition of 100 Black Women Incorporated, Pennsylvania chapter, on their annual legislative day. Will President Naisha Chapman and those accompanying her please join Councilmember Jones at the podium. Joining Councilman Jones at the podium will be Councilmember Captain Gilmore Richardson, Councilmember Jamie Gaudier, Councilmember Cindy Bass, Councilmember Kendra Brooks, Councilmember Nicholas O'Rourke, Councilmember Katia Lozada, Councilmember Rue Landau, Councilmember Driscoll, and Councilmember Squilla.
You got the memo. Yeah. Yeah. Can we have Blondell Reynolds Brown and Jamie Blackwell to come up with us, former members? Is that all right, Mr. President?
Absolutely. Once a member, always a member.
There you go. So, before we start, I want to just say that these ladies of the coalition have been breaking glass ceilings since 1970. And unapologetically, as Blondell Reynolds Brown would say, they have laid the foundation, in my opinion, for the 100th mayor of the city of Philadelphia, who is also a coalition member. Please give them a round of applause. Unlike their name, 100 members, they have 142 members. So their cup overfloweth in activism. Some of their main issues are breaking the glass ceiling of equal pay, something that Charlita Davis of my office always kicks me about, and making sure that something that Blondell Reynolds has always reminded us about in these chambers, that if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. And she has reminded us to enlighten us male members of council about the importance of those things. Today, we're looking at beyond the ballot, making a difference beyond the days that we vote, so that every day it is a verb, a constant activity, so that we keep striving. We don't, in May and in November, just stop. That activism goes all year. I've had the privilege of knowing this organization and supporting this organization for a long time. And fellas, whether you're in a fraternity, we got to keep up. They make more, if you've ever had the opportunity to go to some of their workshops, some of their mission calls, it is groundbreaking. And therefore today, we are honoring the Coalition of 100 Black Women of Pennsylvania for those groundbreaking, ceiling-breaking contributions. And, oh, there you go.
Thank you so much to my colleague and district member, council member Curtis Jones Jr. For introducing this resolution on behalf of the National Coalition of 100 Black Women Incorporated Pennsylvania chapter. I was honored to become a member of the coalition following the footsteps of my mentor, Blondell Reynolds Brown, in 2021. And so the work yet continues. So today we are honoring and congratulating the National Coalition of 100 Black Women Incorporated Pennsylvania chapter on the occasion of our annual legislative day. And
whereas the Coalition of Black Women was formed in New York City in the winter of 1970, when 24 visionary Black women, led by Edna Beach, met in their homes to discuss the problems, challenges, and opportunities during the 1960s. After founding the Coalition of 100 Black Women, this organization continues to address the root causes of issues that have impacted them. Over the years, they mobilized to become a visible force of influence, promoting gender and racial equity. And
whereas by 1981, the New York Coalition had over 500 members, and as they gained recognition, they duplicated their mission and vision around the country. On October 24th of that year, the National Coalition of 100 Black Women Incorporated was formed, and they selected Jewel Jackson McCabe as their first national president. And
whereas the National Coalition of 100 Black Women, Inc., Pennsylvania, Chapter NC 100 BWPA, was chartered in 1981, and 42 progressive women were sworn in 1982, and
whereas this nonprofit organization has been advocating on behalf of Black women and girls for over 40 years in the area of health, education, economic empowerment, and leadership development. And
whereas NC 100 BWPA continues to be a voice and force of gender equity and socio-political advancement that drives meaningful change to benefit Black women and girls. In addition, NC 100 BWPA is instrumental in carrying out the goal of the National Coalition to fulfill their vision of seeking Black women and girls living in a world where socioeconomic inequity does not exist. And
whereas the members consist of progressive women of African descent who work as change agents, who have recognized various needs in the Philadelphia community and have contributed in many ways, including advocating for racial and social justice while working towards striving for positive impact in their community. Their commitment to advocacy, empowerment, and advancement is commendable and deeply deserving of recognition. Now, therefore, be it.
Resolved by the Council of the City of Philadelphia that it is hereby honors and congratulates the National Coalition of 100 Black Women, Inc., Pennsylvania chapter on the occasion of their annual legislative day.
And further resolve that an engrossed copy of this resolution be presented to the National Coalition of 100 Black Women Incorporated, Pennsylvania chapter, as a sign of the sincere admiration and respect of this legislative body. Congratulations.
The chair recognizes President Naisha Chapman.
You got it, okay. So I just want to say thank you to all the council members, especially our council member Catherine Gilmore Richardson, my councilwoman Jamie Gaultier, Council Member Jones, and Council President Johnson on our citation today. We are greatly, deeply appreciative of being the force of advocacy in the city of Philadelphia, advocating on behalf of Black women and girls in the areas of health, education, economic empowerment, and leadership development. We are 40 years strong, and we want to continue to advocate beyond today and advocating beyond the ballot. We feel it is important that everyone in this room and everyone in the city of Philadelphia gets out to vote, to get your civic engagement done, and to make sure that you are making your voice heard. We, as the women of 100 Black Women, will continue to make our voices heard through our programming activity and also through our legislative initiatives. So thank you again, council members, and thank you again to the members for being here.
And they might be 40 years old. They don't look a day over 20.
Oh, and I'm sorry. I just wanted to also recognize Councilwoman Cindy Bass and the Mayor Sherelle Parker, who's also a member. And where's Blondell? Blondell Reynolds Brown and Janie Blackwell also. Oh, there she is. Okay, I see her. As also members of the organization, so thank you again.
Council will be at ease.
We're going to go down here.
Okay, take a picture.
At this time, the chair recognizes Councilmember Mike Driscoll, who will present a resolution celebrating the students and staff of Lincoln High School for their service in the 2024 primary election. Will the students and staff of Lincoln High School please join the council member at the podium? Joining Councilmember Driscoll will be Commissioner Lisa Daly, Commissioner Seth Bluestein, and Commissioner Omar Sabir. Council members joining Mike Driscoll would be Councilmember Squilla, Councilmember Gilmore Richardson, Councilmember Brooks, Councilmember Phillips, Councilmember Harity, and Councilmember Bass.
We got a lot. Can we get them all up here? Or?
I get in front of him because he's tall.
I'm first. I got like 2 lines. Yeah, I'll be
So I'm
quick.
like, Marcus Aurelius.
Chair recognizes Councilmember Mike Driscoll.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. It's a very exciting day for me to welcome the young men and women from Abraham Lincoln High School. I thought it was particularly significant that we had that song Rise today that we sang before City Council, because truly what these young men and women did was they rose to the occasion of participating in our democracy and fulfilling their obligations for civic duty. And they did so without reservation, they did so with enthusiasm, and to the message to these young men and women, as we present this citation to you today, to recognize what you did for our city and our electoral process. You are the future of the city of Philadelphia. You are the future of our nation. And you need to take that responsibility seriously. And by showing up early that morning, studying before you got there that day, you truly rose to the occasion. So let's give a round of applause to these young men and women. Now I'm going to turn it over to my co-sponsor of this resolution, Councilman Jim Harity.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you. You know, it's very important that people get involved in the electoral process, and I'm just so glad to see so many young people that went so enthusiastically for that long, long day. I know you got a real big lesson with that day, didn't you? Yeah. It's a lot longer than school, right? Yeah. So we're just going to kick it off now, celebrating the students and staff of Lincoln High School for their service in the 2024 primary election.
Whereas on Tuesday, April 23rd, 2024, polls for the Pennsylvania primary election opened at Lincoln High School in Mayfair in the 6th District Council. 35 Lincoln High School students, 2 teachers, and 3 American Sign Language translators worked hard to keep the voting polls open and running smoothly. And
whereas students at Lincoln High School filled most of the election boards at the 7 divisions that voted at Lincoln High School. And
whereas the students of Lincoln High School demonstrated dedication to their community and understanding of the importance of voting, now therefore be it.
Resolved that the Council of the City of Philadelphia hereby honors and celebrates the students of Lincoln High School who worked the voting polls on Tuesday, April 23rd, 2024, and
Further resolved that an engrossed copy of this resolution be presented to the students and staff of Lincoln High School as evidence of the admiration and respect of this legislative body. Congratulations.
And before we present and get our official photo, I do need to recognize that we have our 3 city commissioners right here with us today that took time out of their schedule because they recognize how important the work you did that day. And they're the leaders that are going to go into what might be the most important election of our lifetime in this November. And so we're counting on the 3 commissioners behind me to get it right like they always do. We know it doesn't happen by itself. It takes hard work, dedication, persistence. And we're going to begin by bringing up our chair of our city commissioners, Chairman Omar Sabir.
Well, if it's all right, I'm going to let my vice chair go first. She put together the 17 program for the students. I'll let her go first. Sure. Come on, vice chair.
Thank you, Chairman. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So it is a great honor and a privilege, Mr. President, to be here today. Thank you so much. Back in 2018, my former colleagues, Schmidt and Clark, allowed me the opportunity to introduce a legislation, a resolution in City Commissioner's office to pass the motion that allowed for student poll workers in Philadelphia. So I'm really... thank you. I have to thank, at the time, my campaign chair, Nick Custodio, who after we won said we have to go around the country and see how other people are doing things. We went to Chicago and we saw this student poll worker program in action, and I knew that we had to do that in Philadelphia. My former staffer, Donna, who set the groundwork for this program, and I'm recognizing Nate McCoy, who's on my current staff, who really took it to the next level before we handed it off to the department in this election. A special shout out to Sarah Caswell. She is a force of nature, and she has made it her mission to help us coordinate these students at Lincoln High School for Election Day. We do this program, it's citywide. We have a great partnership with a lot of the schools. I'd like to thank the chairman again for letting me have this time to speak. And I invite each of you, our council members, we're happy to come out to high schools in your district. We already do see a lot of you at your high schools, but we want to get in each and every one of them. As has been mentioned, we have a pretty important election coming up, and we need our young people. And this is a great example of what that can look like. So thank you all so much.
I'd like to say thank you. I appreciate all of your service. Elections would not happen without you. And we looking forward to you on November the 5th. We also want you to call some of your students and friends all across the city, because the council may remember that this may be an important post-election. I say that this election on Tuesday, November the 5th, is the most important election in our lifetime. And it's critical that every eligible Philadelphian participate in this upcoming election. And we have to increase voter turnout. And we must remember, the more we vote, the more we get. Thank you.
Thank you to the students of Lincoln High School and all the student poll workers across the city. On Election Day, the most important people to make sure that Philadelphia's voters are able to vote are not the commissioners, they're not the council people, they are our poll workers. It is thanks to you that Philadelphia's voices are able to be heard, and I hope to see you all again working in November, and hopefully there's future commissioners among you as well. Thank you.
Well, thank you, commissioners. And we're going to end with bringing up the woman that actually helped this rise and is as passionate as Commissioner Dealey said. Please come up, Sarah, and say a few words. Sarah Caswell.
Thank you.
Thank you. We are really, really honored to be here this morning, so thank you to Councilman Driscoll and Harity. Thank you to Commissioner Deely, to Nate McCoy. Nate McCoy is awesome. He is the one who's really, really been behind a lot of this. But we started in 2022 with 8 kids working the election. This past election, we had over 30, and some alum who came back who have graduated, so the program is working. There's only 3 additional poll workers at Lincoln besides our kids, and we're looking to cover more spaces in November. So we are looking to move out and to cover the Northeast and make sure everyone can vote. But I want to take this moment to also thank you all for having us here and for recognizing these students. And it's really important that you continue to do this and to recognize students across the city of Philadelphia. Many of my students had never been on SEPTA before this morning. I'd never been in City Hall into this chamber, and to make these spaces accessible and to engage kids in the civic process, it's really, really important that you engage kids in high school and that you get into those schools and that you meet them and that you make it accessible to them and make them feel like there's a place for them. Because if they don't feel like there's a place for them, they won't show up. We're currently trying to register our students to vote, and students who have not gotten engaged in other ways, it's a tough sell because they don't think it matters. And so please, all of you go out into your districts and get into those high schools and bring kids in here and let them see this process and let them experience that this is a place for them and their voice does matter and that young people could make a really big difference in this next election. So we need to make sure we're engaging them and getting them out. But thank you very much for having us. I really appreciate it.
Council will be at ease.
Do you want to go down?
Take the photo?
We're going to go down and take a picture, guys.
here as a backup so he can just get your voice recorded.
Good, okay.
We also want to acknowledge in our balcony today, we have students from Dobbins High School. Can we ask them to stand? Let's give them a round of applause. Representing the 5th Councilmatic District. It is truly a great day when we have young people coming down here to witness our government in action. The next order of business is communications. The chair recognizes that the Sergeant at Arms deliver the messages from the mayor to the chief clerk. Will the chief clerk read the messages from the mayor and any other communications in her possession?
To the President and members of the Council of the City of Philadelphia, I am submitting herewith for the consideration of your honorable body the following proposed ordinance. An ordinance amending Chapter 19-3200 of the Philadelphia Code entitled Keystone Opportunity Zone, Economic Development District, and Strategic Development Area to provide for additional extensions of certain benefits under certain terms and conditions. And an ordinance authorizing the Procurement Commissioner on behalf of the city to enter into a lease and concession agreement with Aero Center Northeast Philadelphia LLC in connection with certain property at Northeast Philadelphia Airport to facilitate the development and operation of a new fixed-based operator, all under certain terms and conditions. And an ordinance authorizing the Procurement Commissioner and the Chief Executive Officer of the Department of Aviation on behalf of the City of Philadelphia to enter into an amendment to a concession agreement for the development, operation, and maintenance of an airport advertising program at Philadelphia International Airport, all under certain terms and conditions. And an ordinance amending various provisions of the Philadelphia Code to authorize revisions of various fees by regulation, including license and permit fees under Subcode A, the Philadelphia Administrative Code, license fees for food establishments under Title VI Health Code, license and permits under Title IX Regulation of Businesses, Trades, and Professions, license under Section 10-722 Use of Dumpsters, license under Section 11-610 Construction Equipment, and license under Chapter 19-600 Amusement Tax, all under certain terms and conditions. And an ordinance authorizing the Commissioner of Public Property on behalf of the city to acquire fee simple title or a lesser interest by purchase, dedication, donation, condemnation, agreement in lieu of condemnation or otherwise of certain parcels of land along the Delaware River in the Tacony-Holmesburg area for the purpose of making, enlarging, connecting, extending, operating, and maintaining public parks for recreational use under certain terms and conditions. And an ordinance authorizing the Commissioner of Public Property on behalf of the city to acquire fee simple title or a lesser real estate interest to all or a portion of parcels or parcels of land situate at 121-25 East Chelton Avenue, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, all under certain terms and conditions. And an ordinance authorizing the Commissioner of Public Property on behalf of the city to acquire fee simple title or a lesser interest in real estate by purchase, dedication, donation, condemnation, agreement in lieu of condemnation, or otherwise in parcels of land along the Schuylkill River and the Wissahickon Creek for public recreational purposes under certain terms and conditions. And an ordinance approving the fiscal year 2025 capital budget, providing for expenditures for the capital purposes of the Philadelphia Gas Works, including the supplying of funds in connection therewith, and acknowledging the receipt of the revised forecast of capital budgets for fiscal year 2026 through 2030, all under certain terms and conditions. And an ordinance authorizing the Commissioner of Public Property on behalf of the city to acquire a fee simple title or a lesser real estate interest in all or a portion of parcel or parcels of land from the Philadelphia Redevelopment Authority, the Philadelphia Land Bank, and the Philadelphia Housing and Development Corporation, all under certain terms and conditions. And an ordinance amending Section 14-303 14 of the Philadelphia Code entitled Public Hearings of the Zoning Board of Adjustment to change the number of board members required for a quorum or for action taken at a Zoning Board of Adjustment hearing, all under certain terms and conditions. And an ordinance authorizing the Commissioner of Parks and Recreation on behalf of the City of Philadelphia to enter into a multi-year agreement with Cosmic Catering LLC for the management and operation of the Lloyd Hall Recreation Center Cafe, all under certain terms and conditions. and an ordinance authorizing an increase in the non-electoral indebtedness of the city within the Philadelphia constitutional limit, authorizing the bond committee to sell bonds at public or private negotiated sale, to provide funds towards various capital municipal purposes, providing for appropriations to the sinking fund commission for such payment of such bonds, and authorizing agreements to provide credit or payment or liquidity sources for the bonds in connection with issuance of the bonds and certain other actions. There are no other communications in my possession, Council President.
Thank you. The messages will be presented in the journal. The next order of business is the introduction of bills and resolutions. The chair recognizes Councilmember Phillips.
Good morning, Philadelphia. Good morning, Council President. Thank you. I have one bill for introduction today.
Thank you very much. The clerk will please read the title of the bill.
And an ordinance amending Chapter 9-600 of the Philadelphia Code entitled Service and Other Businesses by adding a new section regulating the hours of operation of certain establishments and providing for penalties within an area bounded by Ogons Avenue between Haynes Street and Cheltenham Avenue, all under certain terms and conditions.
This bill will be referred to the appropriate committee. The chair recognizes Councilmember Catherine Gilmore Richardson.
Good morning, Council President. Today I offer 3 bills on your behalf and 1 privilege resolution on behalf of Councilmember Nina Ahmad.
Thank you very much. Will the clerk please read the title of the bill and resolution?
An ordinance approving the fiscal year 2025 capital budget, providing for expenditures for the capital purposes of the Philadelphia Gas Works, including the supplying of funds in connection therewith, and acknowledging receipt of the revised forecast of capital budgets for fiscal years 2026 through 2030, all under certain terms and conditions.
This bill will be referred to the appropriate committee.
And an ordinance to amend the Philadelphia zoning maps by changing the zoning designations of certain areas of land located within an area bounded by Island Avenue, the Delaware Expressway, and Bartram Avenue.
This bill will be referred to the appropriate committee.
And an ordinance authorizing an increase in the non-electoral indebtedness of the city within the Pennsylvania constitutional limit, authorizing the bond committee to sell bonds at public or private negotiated sale, to provide funds towards various capital municipal purposes, providing for appropriations to the sinking fund commission for the payment of such bonds, and authorizing agreements to provide credit or payment or liquidity sources for the bonds in connection with issuance of bonds and certain other actions.
This bill will be referred to the appropriate committee.
And a resolution introduced by Councilmember Gilmore Richardson on behalf of Nina Ahmad, welcoming TEDx Dilworth Park to the city of Philadelphia and recognizing them for their commitment to ideas worth spreading on a global scale.
This resolution will be placed on the day's final passage calendar. The chair at this time recognizes Councilmember Jamie Gaudier.
Good morning, Council President. Today I have 3 bills for introduction.
Will the clerk please read the title of the bills?
An ordinance establishing a parking regulation on Ellsworth Street between South 60th Street and South 61st Street, Ruby Street between Springfield Avenue and Chester Avenue, Sansom Street between South 60th Street and South 61st Street, Webster Street between South 60th Street and South 61st Street, Rodman Street between South 56th Street and South 57th Street, Willows Avenue between South 53rd Street and South 54th Street, Cobbs Creek Parkway between Spruce Street and Locust Street, South 52nd Street between Chester Avenue and Springfield Avenue.
These bills will be referred to the appropriate committee.
And an ordinance establishing a parking regulation on Addison Street between South 54th Street and South 53rd Street, Baltimore Avenue between South 43rd Street and South 44th Street, Irving Street between South 51st Street and South 50th Street, Springfield Avenue between 51st Street and South 52nd Street, Washington Avenue between South 56th Street and South 57th Street, South 46th Street between Locust Street and Spruce Street, Pine Street between South 62nd Street and South 63rd Street, Melville Street between Spruce Street and Locust Street, South 54th Street between Greenway Avenue and Woodland Avenue.
This bill will be referred to the appropriate committee.
And an ordinance establishing a parking regulation on Irving Street between South 59th Street and South 60th Street, South 49th Street between Regent Street and Chester Avenue, South 46th Street between Linmore Avenue and Woodland Avenue, Walnut Street between South 61st Street and South 67th Street, Webster Street between South 51st Street and South 52nd Street, Sansom Street between South 61st Street and South 62nd Street, Walton Street between South 49th Street and South 50th Street, Locust Street between South 59th Street and South 60th Street, Locust Street between South 49th Street and South 50th Street.
That bill will be referred to the appropriate committee. Council will be at ease. I want to acknowledge the Chairman of Appropriations representing the 186th Legislative District, hailing from South Philadelphia. Chairman of Appropriations, State Representative Jordan Harris, thank you for joining us today. Representing the P. The chair recognizes Councilmember Isaiah Thomas.
Good morning, Council President. Good morning,
Good morning.
colleagues. 2 resolutions.
Will the clerk please read the title of the resolutions?
A privileged resolution honoring and congratulating the Educator of the Month, William W. Sachs, for his dedication to his students at South Philadelphia High School.
This resolution will be placed on today's final passage calendar.
And a privileged resolution declaring May 5th through May 11th, 2024 as Youth Apprenticeship Week in the City of Philadelphia and recognizing the impact of youth apprenticeship programs on workforce development in the City of Philadelphia.
This resolution will be placed on today's final passage calendar. The chair recognizes Councilmember Curtis Jones.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm introducing 4 bills and 2 privileged resolutions. While we're ready to read that, I was trying to get recognized like my senior member, O'Neill, to recognize the fact that the 2 resolutions are related. First one is to recognize the correctional officers that work in our prisons in the city of Philadelphia and the incredible job they do to try to correct the pathways of incarcerated individuals. And we have from District Council 33 here. Would you please rise? Let's give them a welcome. And Mr. President, thank you for your indulgence. The second one recognizes that there are over 18,000 events in the city of Philadelphia. That does not include block parties and festivals and street renamings. So if you did that, you double it. And this weekend, the Broad Street Run was run. There were 44,000 people that applied, 33,000 actually ran, and 3 of them almost died. And one of them, when they crossed the finish line, had a cardiac arrest. But the purpose of this resolution, as the EMTs came out and revived all 3, it would be a different kind of story if they had not done that. And I want to thank the city rep's office. I want to thank the children and youth. And I want to thank also the recreation department for being on the case. Now, when things happen right, nobody knows. When things happen wrong, we all know. So I want to thank them and with this resolution. Thank you, Mr. President.
You're welcome. She also acknowledges the President of District Council 33, Mr. Omar Salam. Thank you for being in council with us today. Will the clerk please read the title of the bills and the resolutions?
An ordinance to amend the Philadelphia zoning maps by changing the zoning designations of certain areas of land located within an area bounded by Valley Avenue, Domino Lane, Ridge Avenue, Paoli Avenue, Pekin Street, Extended, Ridge Avenue, Hermit Street, and Henry Avenue, and to amend Title 14 of the Philadelphia Code by adding Section 14-541, Ridge Avenue Neighborhoods Overlay, RAN, and making other related changes, all under certain terms and conditions.
This bill will be referred to the appropriate committee.
And an ordinance authorizing the Commissioner of Parks and Recreation on behalf of the City of Philadelphia to enter into a multi-year agreement with Cosmic Catering, LLC for the management and operation of the Lloyd Hall Recreation Center Cafe, all under certain terms and conditions.
This bill will be referred to the appropriate committee.
And an ordinance authorizing the Commissioner of Public Property on behalf of the city to acquire fee simple title or a lesser interest in real estate by purchase, dedication, donation, condemnation, agreement in lieu of condemnation, or otherwise, in parcels of land along the Schuylkill River and the Wissahickon Creek for public recreational purposes under certain terms and conditions.
This bill will be referred to the appropriate committee.
And an ordinance amending Section 9-213 of the Philadelphia Code entitled Farmers Markets by adding a permissible location at the 4th District Container Village located at 4862-70 Parkside Avenue, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania 19131.
This bill will be referred to the appropriate committee.
and a privileged resolution proclaiming May 5th through May 11th, 2024 as a National Correctional Officers and Employees Week in the City of Philadelphia to celebrate the dedicated work of the correctional officers and staff at the Philadelphia Department of Prisons.
This resolution will be placed on today's final passage calendar.
And a privileged resolution honoring and recognizing the runners who competed in the 2024 Independence Blue Cross Broad Street Run, as well as the dedicated work of the Special Events Emergency Medical Technician and Fire Department teams who were responsible for keeping the race a safe and enjoyable experience for all.
This resolution will be placed on today's final passage calendar. The chair also recognizes the business manager of Labor's District Council 332. Also joining us today is Mr. Sam Staten Jr. Let's give him a round of applause. Could you stand, sir? Thank you for joining us today. The chair recognizes Councilman Rue Landau.
Good morning, Council President and colleagues. I've got two privileged resolutions. One I'm introducing with Councilmember Thomas and one with Councilmember Brooke.
Thank you. Will the clerk please read the title of the privileged resolutions, please?
A privileged resolution declaring May 9th, 2024 as Black Teacher Appreciation Day in the City of Philadelphia.
This resolution will be placed on today's final passage calendar.
And a privileged resolution declaring May 10th, 2024 as Child Care Provider Appreciation Day in the City of Philadelphia and recognizing the essential value that child care providers have in our community.
This resolution will be placed on today's final passage calendar. The chair recognizes Councilman McKetty Lozada.
Good morning, Council President. Today I offer one bill for myself and one bill on your behalf.
Thank you very much. Will the clerk please read the title of the bills?
Councilmember Lozada introducing for Councilmember Johnson. Council President Johnson, authorizing the Commissioner of Public Property on behalf of the City of Philadelphia to acquire a fee simple title or a lesser real estate interest in all or a portion of a parcel or parcels of land from the Philadelphia Redevelopment Authority, the Philadelphia Land Bank, and the Philadelphia Housing and Development Corporation, all under certain terms and conditions.
This bill will be referred to the appropriate committee.
And an ordinance to amend the Philadelphia zoning maps by changing the zoning designations of certain areas of land located within an area bounded by Roosevelt Boulevard, Adams Avenue, Ramona Street, Wyoming Avenue, and Whitaker Avenue.
This bill will be referred to the appropriate committee. The chair recognizes Councilmember Jeffrey J. Young.
Thank you, Mr. President. Today I offer 4 resolutions and 2 bills. One resolution is non-privileged with, one resolution is privileged, 3 are non-privileged.
Will the clerk please read the title of the bills and the resolutions?
An ordinance amending Section 14-305 of the Philadelphia Code entitled Nonconformities by providing further provisions on changes from nonconforming uses, all under certain terms and conditions.
This bill will be referred to the appropriate committee.
And an ordinance prohibiting the Commissioner of Public Property or any other official of the City of Philadelphia acting on behalf of the city from entering into, executing, or authorizing a lease extension, lease amendment, lease renewal, or new agreement by and between the city and the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania for or on behalf of any Commonwealth department or agency at the property located at 2100 West Girard Avenue, all under certain terms and conditions.
This bill will be referred to the appropriate committee.
And a privileged resolution recognizing the week of May 6th through the 10th, 2024 as Well-Being Week in law in the City of Philadelphia.
This resolution will be placed on today's final passage calendar.
And a non-privileged resolution authorizing the Commissioner of Public Property to execute and deliver to the Philadelphia Redevelopment Authority deeds conveying fee simple title to 928 French Street in the 5th Councilmanic District of the City of Philadelphia, and further authorizing the Philadelphia Redevelopment Authority to transfer to the Philadelphia Land Bank fee simple title to such properties pursuant to Section 16-405 of the Philadelphia Code.
This resolution will be placed on the final passage calendar for consideration at our next session of council.
And a non-privileged resolution also naming the 2300 block of Oakdale Street as Jill Scott Lane.
Jilly from Philly. North Philly it is. This resolution will be placed on the final passage calendar for consideration at our next session of council.
And a non-privileged resolution also naming the 2900 block of Girard Avenue as Lana Felton Gee Way.
It's another one. This resolution will be placed on the final passage calendar for consideration at our next session of council. The chair recognizes Councilmember Kendra Brooks.
Good morning, Council President. I have one privileged resolution to introduce today, signed by the majority of council.
Thank you very much. Will the clerk please read the title of the resolution?
A privileged resolution honoring and recognizing O'Shea Leon Sibley, a dancer, choreographer, and life-changing community leader who inspired countless performers with his passion and ambition, advocated tirelessly for Black, queer, and transgender communities, and empowered youth to find their distinct paths to greatness.
This resolution will be placed on today's final passage calendar. The chair recognizes Councilmember Jim Harity.
Council President, I have one bill I'm introducing on your behalf today. I have one resolution, I'm sorry.
Thank you very much. Will the clerk please read the title of the resolution?
And a privileged resolution honoring, recognizing, and congratulating Phil Abundance, the Greater Philadelphia area's largest hunger relief organization, on the occasion of its 40th anniversary.
This resolution will be placed on today's final passage calendar. The chair recognizes Councilmember O'Rourke.
President Johnson, good morning to you, sir. I have one non-privileged resolution and one privileged resolution to co-introduce with Majority Leader Catherine Gilmore Richardson, Majority Whip Thomas, as well as the gentleman from the 5th Councilmanic District, the Honorable Jay Young.
Thank you very much. Will the clerk please read the title of the resolutions?
A privileged resolution honoring and celebrating Muriel Dobbins' career and technical education high school's Mustang Barbershop for its excellence in cultivating an exemplary career and technical education program in the art of barbering.
This resolution will be placed on today's final passage calendar.
And a non-privileged resolution honoring the University of Pennsylvania workers whose organizing has resulted in a wave of labor victories and who are now represented by AFSCME DC 47, CIR SEIU, OPEIU, and UAW, and calling upon the University of Pennsylvania to come to the bargaining table without delay and negotiate contracts in good faith with the workers.
This resolution will be placed on today's final passage calendar. This resolution will be placed on the final passage calendar for consideration at the next session of council. Chair recognizes Councilmember Mike Driscoll.
Good morning, Mr. President. I offer two bills on your behalf, and I offer two bills on my behalf today.
Thank you very much. Will the clerk please read the title of the bills and resolutions?
An ordinance by Councilmember Driscoll on behalf of Council President Johnson, authorizing the Procurement Commissioner and the Chief Executive Officer of the Department of Aviation on behalf of the City of Philadelphia to enter into an amendment to a concession agreement for the development, operation, and maintenance of an airport advertising program at Philadelphia International Airport, all under certain terms and conditions.
This bill will be referred to the appropriate committee.
And an ordinance introduced by Councilmember Driscoll on Council President Johnson's behalf, amending various provisions of the Philadelphia Code to authorize revisions of various fees by regulation, including license and permit fees under Subcode A, the Philadelphia Administrative Code, license fees for food establishments under Title VI, the Health Code, license and permit fees under Title IX, Regulation of Business, Trades, and Professions, license fees under Section 10-722, use of dumpsters, license fees under Section 11-610, construction and equipment, and license fees under Chapter 9-600, amusement tax, all under certain terms and conditions.
This bill will be referred to the appropriate committee.
And an ordinance to amend the Philadelphia zoning maps by changing the zoning designations of certain areas of land located within an area bounded by Kensington Avenue, Tioga Street, Jasper Street, and Allegheny Avenue.
This bill will be referred to the appropriate committee.
And an ordinance authorizing the Commissioner of Public Property on behalf of the city to acquire fee simple title or a lesser interest by purchase, dedication, donation, condemnation, agreement in lieu of condemnation, or otherwise, of certain parcels of land along the Delaware River in the Tacony-Holmesburg area for the purpose of making, enlarging, connecting, extending, operating, and maintaining public parks for recreational use under certain terms and conditions.
This bill will be referred to the appropriate committee. The chair recognizes Councilmember O'Neill.
Thank you, Mr. President. I offer one bill and one resolution that I referred to earlier honoring Jim Tyrell, which I'm co-introducing with you, and I'd ask for immediate consideration of that resolution.
Will the clerk please read the title of the bills and the resolution, and the request for immediate consideration of the resolution is granted. I'm gonna let you read it first. Go ahead, Council. Go ahead, Chief Clerk.
An ordinance authorizing the Procurement Commissioner on behalf of the city to enter into a lease concession agreement with Aero Center Northeast Philadelphia LLC in connection with certain property at Northeast Philadelphia Airport to facilitate the development and operation of a new fixed-base operator, all under certain terms and conditions.
This bill will be referred to the appropriate committee.
And a privileged resolution honoring Jim Tyrell on the occasion of his retirement from the Department of Aviation and recognizing Jim's 37 years of dedicated service to the city of Philadelphia.
The chair recognizes Councilmember O'Neill.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the adoption.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it, and the resolution is adopted, as well as request for immediate consideration is granted. Congratulations, Jim. The chair now recognizes the gentleman from South Philadelphia, Councilmember Mark Squilla.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have one bill and one resolution on your behalf.
Thank you very much. Will the clerk please read the title of the bill and resolution?
An ordinance amending Chapter 12-3400 of the Philadelphia Code entitled Use of an Automated Speed Enforcement System to Improve Safety on Roosevelt Boulevard by providing for the use, administration, and enforcement of automated speed cameras on Broad Street and making related technical changes all under certain terms and conditions.
This bill will be referred to the appropriate committee.
And a privileged resolution honoring Dexter Resta for his acceptance to Yale University and recognizing Dexter's historic achievement as the first prep charter high school graduate to earn a full scholarship to Yale.
This resolution, y'all can clap for that. This resolution will be placed on today's final passage calendar. The chair recognizes the gentle lady from the Northwest, Councilmember Cindy Bass.
Thank you, Mr. President. I offer one privilege resolution and one bill.
Will the clerk please read the title of the bill and privilege resolution?
An ordinance authorizing the Commissioner of Public Property on behalf of the city to acquire fee simple title or a lesser real estate interest to all or a portion of a parcel or parcels of land situate at 121-25 East Chelton Avenue, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, all under certain terms and conditions.
This bill will be referred to the appropriate committee.
And a privileged resolution recognizing Mount Airy Day this Saturday, May 11th, as we embrace the spirit of community and its enduring commitment to building bridges, breaking down barriers, and fostering a sense of belonging among all residents of Mount Airy.
This resolution will be placed on today's final passage calendar. The next order of business is reports from committees. The chair recognizes Councilmember Cindy Bass for a report from the Committee on Rules.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Committee on Rules reports out two bills with a favorable recommendation.
Thank you very much. Will the Chief Clerk please read the report?
To the President and members of the Council of the City of Philadelphia, the Committee on Rules, to which was referred Bill Number 240220, entitled To Amend the Philadelphia Zoning Maps by Changing the Zoning Designations of Certain Areas of Land Located Within an Area Bounded by Red Lion Road, the Montgomery County Line, the Bucks County Line, and Roosevelt Boulevard, respectfully reports it has considered and amended the same and returns the attached bill to Council with a favorable recommendation. And the Committee on Rules, to which was referred referred Bill Number 240281 entitled, "To amend the Philadelphia zoning maps by changing the zoning designations of certain areas of land located within an area bounded by Montgomery Avenue, 10th Street, Girard Avenue, and 13th Street," respectfully reports it has considered the same and returns the attached bill to council with a favorable recommendation.
The chair recognizes Councilmember Cindy Bass for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the rules of council be suspended to permit first reading this day of the bills that were just read into the record by the chief clerk.
It has been moved and properly seconded that the rules of council be suspended so as to permit the consideration of the bills just read by the chief clerk at today's session of council. All those in favor of the motion will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it. The motion carries. Bills number 240220 and 240281 will be placed on our first reading calendar for today. The next order of business is the consideration of the calendar. I note that the bills just reported from committee with the suspension of rules have been deemed to have had a first reading. These bills will be placed on the second reading and final passage calendar for the next session of council. As there are no additional bills on the first reading calendar, the chair recognizes Councilmember Catherine Gilmore Richardson for the purpose of calling up bills and resolutions on the second reading and final passage calendars.
President, the following bills and resolutions are being called up from the second reading and final passage calendars today. Numbers 240369, 240386, 240387, 240388, 240389, 240390, 240391, 240397, 240402, 240403, 240192, 240215, 240216, 240244, 240247, and 240087. The following bills and resolutions on the calendar are being held. 240012.
Thank you very much, Majority Leader Gilmore Richardson. Before considering these bills and resolutions, we will consider public comment as follows. The chair recognizes Councilmember Cindy Bass.
Thank you, Mr. President. My apologies, but I have to leave council chambers. But I would like to be recorded as voting aye on all bills and resolutions.
Leave is granted, and your vote is recorded. Thank you very much. Before considering public comment, your public comment must concern matters on the second reading and final passage calendar for possible action at today's council session. All speakers must sign up in order to testify. If you have not already signed up for today's session, please do so now by giving your name to Ms. Hassan at the table outside the rails to my left. I'm just going to ask if you have any sidebar conversations, please take your conversations outside the council chambers. Make it difficult for me to hear up here while I'm trying to go through our agenda. All speakers must sign up in order to testify. If you have not already done so, as I just mentioned, please see Ms. Hassan at the left, outside the rails. Once you have signed up, you will be called in the order in which your name appears on the sign-up sheet. Under ideal circumstances, public commenters each will have 3 minutes to speak. However, due to our lengthy, very lengthy agenda for the day, the time limit will be 2 minutes. In order to be fair to all those wishing to speak, I intend to hold faithfully to the 2-minute limit. When you begin speaking, you will see a green light on the podium. When there are 30 seconds remaining to your time, the light will turn yellow, which is your reminder to conclude your remarks. Once 2 minutes have passed, the light will turn red, and the sergeant at arms will disconnect the microphone. At that point, please yield the podium to the next speaker if you have not done so already. I also reserve the right pursuant to our rules of council to limit repetitions comments on the same subject matter. I would now like to ask the chief clerk to please read the title of our first speaker.
Worth. Reverend Kevin Hainsworth. Can Patricia Ford, Sharif El-Mekki, and Ryan Gittler Muniz also make their way to the podium? Reverend Kevin Hainsworth, Patricia Ford, Sharif El-Mekki, Ryan Gittler Muniz, Destiny Kelly, Charles Black, Paul Birdsong.
Good morning to City Council. Thank you for the privilege of being here with you today. I come to speak on behalf of our late pastor of Christ Community Baptist Church, Reverend Dr. Arthur R. White. We come to ask the council to approve the renaming of 41st and Parkside in the name of Reverend Dr. Arthur R. White, who served faithfully as the pastor of Christ Community Baptist Church from 1981 to year 2000. Pastor White was a faithful servant of the community. He worked with the late Lucian Blackwell, and we thank God for Sister Janie Blackwell is here this morning. We worked with John White Sr., John White Jr., and many of the council members, as well as civic association leaders. Pastor White was faithful in the East Parkside community for nearly 40 years, not just as pastor of Christ Community, but as a servant of the East Parkside and Mantua community. He faithfully led a anti-HIV and AIDS march every year throughout East Parkside and Mantua at a time when the 19104 area code was the highest HIV contact area. Pastor White was very dedicated to the community, dedicated to the uplift of citizens of the community, and a faithful member of the community. And we ask that City Council would approve the resolution to rename 41st and Parkside in the name and in the memory of Reverend Dr. Arthur R. White, servant of the community. Thank you very much.
Patricia Ford, Sharif El-Mekki, Ryan Gittler Muniz.
Good morning. Thank you, City Council President, especially Council Member Rolando and our Community Liaison Tamir Harper for extending the invitation to speak on the day the City of Philadelphia declares May 9th, 2024 as Black Teacher Appreciation Day. My name is Sharif El-Mekki. I'm the founder of the Center for Black Educator Development. Our mission is to rebuild our Black teacher pipeline. To show our appreciation of Black teachers, we have a very simple, powerful message to the city, state, and nation, and that is what our students told us. We need Black teachers. But why do we need Black teachers? Because Black teachers saves Black students' lives. They expect and help Black students to achieve. They don't over-penalize Black students. They reflect a world of possibilities for Black students. They also reflect a more just society. They counter racism, promote cross-cultural understanding, and prepare all students for a complex world. We know Black teachers are good for all students as well as our school system. We know these things to be true, but you know what is false, despite what some may claim? That young Black high school and college students do not want to teach, because they do. A few months ago, when the Center for Black Educator Development put out our yearly call for Black high school and college youth to serve as our teacher apprentices this summer during Freedom Schools, over 300 signed up to work this summer, teaching first, second, and third graders. We have too many applicants for our spots. But without our ability to expand our program, we are faced with a nonsensical reality: to turn away highly qualified and highly motivated Black high school and college youth who are saying, we want to become Black teachers. This includes nearly 100 young Black men who are interested in exploring teaching through a program that has proven its ability to convert their interest into actionable future teachers. City Council, this keeps me up at night, and it should keep you up as well. Leaders of Philadelphia, we lost 1,200 Black teachers in the city between 2000 and 2020. And we need to double the number of black teachers in Philly to match the number of black students in our public schools, and quadruple the number of black men teachers to reach parity for black boys. Shout out to Councilmember Isaiah Thomas for leading the charge to recognize October as Black Male Educator Month. And I want to thank City Council for recognizing this. And as Marion Wright Edelman said, it is harder to be what you can't see. Let's make sure that our students can see us. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Patricia Ford, and I am here to speak on the resolution of child care appreciation. I wanted to speak because child care is the first thing that most babies see, as opposed when they're going to, before they attend actually their education. And the child care worker is the first one to nourish your child, to teach your child about kindness, about camaraderie, about sharing. And all of those things seems to get lost in between 6 years old and when they start second and third grade. I think it's very important for child care workers to be appreciated just as teachers are, because they are teachers. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Hello, my name is Ryan Gittler-Munez, and I'm an environmental justice organizer at the Public Interest Law Center, testifying in support of Resolution 240386, appointing Jennifer Greenberg to the board of the Land Bank, Philadelphia Land Bank. The Public Interest Law Center uses high-impact legal strategies to advance the civil, social, and economic rights of communities in the Philadelphia region facing discrimination, inequality, and poverty. We are also the only organization in Philadelphia that offers pro bono legal representation and organizing to urban farmers and gardeners through our Garden Justice Legal Initiative. We are proud to call Jenny Greenberg a critical partner in our work to preserve Philadelphia community green space, and we commend Council President Johnson for putting forward an appointee for the Land Bank Board with a demonstrated commitment to supporting urban agriculture. Jenny leads Neighborhood Gardens Trust, the largest nonprofit land trust focused on securing, protecting, and supporting community gardens and community-managed spaces in Philadelphia. NGT has preserved 53 community gardens, an incredible accomplishment given that there are roughly 450 growing spaces in the city, according to the Philadelphia Urban Agriculture Plan. At the Law Center, we worked closely with Jenny and NGT on a host of land policy issues over the past 10 years, including a stormwater fee exemption for gardens and improvements to the land bank's green space policies. Through her work with NGT, as well as personal relationships developed from working alongside many of the city's community gardeners, Jenny has firsthand experience of the opportunities and challenges that exist today for nonprofits and community members trying to work with the land bank. And with a background in urban planning, she also understands the importance of balancing new development and green space to foster healthy, livable neighborhoods. I want to close with a highlight from yesterday's urban agriculture hearing, where over 100 gardeners and advocates packed this chamber. When Jenny was called up to testify and council members Gautier and Brooks congratulated her on her pending board appointment, the room erupted in applause. It's obvious that the urban agriculture community supports Jenny's nomination to the Land Bank Board. She is a trusted advocate for community gardeners and has a successful track record of preserving gardens and green spaces. Her deep understanding of the complexity of assembling and preserving land will make her an asset to the board and further our collective efforts to shape a cleaner, greener, and safer city. The Law Center urges City Council to swiftly approve her appointment to the Land Bank Board. Thank you.
Destiny Kelly, Charles Black, and then Paul Birdsong.
Good morning. My name is Destiny Kelly. On behalf of O'Shea Sibley, our family would like to say thank you for recognizing and honoring his life. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Charles Black, Paul Birdsong. May Sharon Nielsen, Laverne Cheeseborough, and Michaela Myers also make their way to the podium.
President
Johnson, and in council. My name is Charles Black. I live in Center City. I'm a person with a speech impediment, and I am here to speak in favor of Councilwoman Ahmad's resolution on TEDx. This weekend, 12 amazing people will present their TEDx talks, which are local versions of the global TED Talks. There has been some confusion about this being in a park, but this is just what TEDx says. Our event will take place at Pipeline City Winery in Cockatoo Bar. I ask your support of this as this conference is putting Philly back on the global TEDx platform. We have sold out our conference, and we have people coming from Chicago, North Carolina, and many other places who are staying in city hotels, spending their money here, and are seeing all that Philly has to offer. This is the first year of our event, but we'll keep growing and making a great event. I would like to thank Councilmember Ahmad for this resolution, the majority leader for proposing it, and for your support of TEDx. Thank you.
Paul Birdsong, Sharon Nielsen, Laverne Cheeseborough, and then Michaela Myers.
So since we're doing honorable mentions today, I want to mention the original Panther Party, the Los Angeles chapter that we're under. So I want to mention Comrades General Albron, General Dagon, Field Marshal Masego, General KNG, Chief Premier, and Musa. I want to mention them because those are honorable revolutionaries that are actually in the community fighting for the defense of the black man, woman, and child, and are willing to see about that by any means necessary. I also want to mention the brothers and sisters that are behind me that are from the streets of Philadelphia, that live there every day, and that are affected by the rules and policies that are decided upon right here, right now. I want to say on behalf of everybody here that we feel spit in the face. The reason we feel spit in the face is because we sit in here and kumbaya and we talk about naming.
Excuse me, Paul.
We talk about
just
naming
real quick.
streets.
I'm just asking you to stick to your legislation.
I'm about to. Let me finish.
Okay.
4100 Parkside Avenue. Y'all want to rename that, but that's within a mile of the Claire Muhammad shooting. That's within 2 miles of 53rd and Chancellor, where 3 people were shot, and you don't know who did it yet. That's within 2 miles of 50th and Osage. All these shootings happened there within a couple weeks, and nothing has been done except with the 53rd and Chancellor one and the 50th and Osage, but we worried about renaming streets. That's not what the people are. These people live in that community. They're not concerned about you renaming the street. They're concerned about it being safe for their children. They're concerned about you getting that forensics lab together so that you can solve the crimes, because these people done lost people and they don't know who killed their people, because you don't got you got an obsolete police force, right? So I heard you interrupt me, right? I'm interrupting all that y'all got going on to say that these people need justice. These people need closure. These people need safety. We don't care about no street names. We care about being safe. That's what we care about. Give us a forensics lab that can actually solve crimes. Give us a force of people from our community that can actually deal with us. Give us officers that are trained to deal with people with mental issues instead of slamming them or shooting. Give us that. Otherwise, we don't want to hear it, because when we hear everything but what we are concerned about and we vote for y'all, we call bullshit. All power to the people. Only the people.
With all due respect, good brother, right, just respect the chamber. You can talk to me when we get finished, but all we asking is democracy. Just respect the chamber, that's all.
Democracy is free speech.
That's all I'm saying, good brother.
Okay, well, we just really spoke.
That's all I'm saying, good brother, but thank you. We'll address it, Paul, but thank you. Thank you very much, Paul. Thank you, Paul. Will the clerk please read the title of the next person, please?
Sharon Nielsen and Laverne Cheeseborough and Michaela Myers. Laverne Cheeseborough, Michaela Myers, and
Welcome,
also...
Sharon. Please begin your testimony.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, City Council members Brooke and Landau for presenting the Child Care Awareness resolution, and thank the other council members. I want to say a special shout out to one of my partners in advocating and elevating the voices of Philadelphia's children and families, the Honorable City Council President Johnson, formerly known as State Rep Johnson. As my colleagues would state, child care is an essential service, but not only in its support of Philadelphia's working force, we are also an early care and education facilities or services. We support families in their need for self-sufficiency. We partner with families to help them remove barriers that will hinder their child's future success. Child care is the only setting that I know that helps eliminate tomorrow's problems today. Studies after studies have proven that quality early care and learning impacts families' dependency on social services, decreases or eliminates early intervention services needed in kindergarten, decreases teen pregnancy, high school dropout rates, unemployment or underemployment, and crime rates. But we need more. We need pay equity so that child care teachers with similar credentials and experience are paid the same salaries and benefits as their K-12 colleagues. We need an equitable reimbursement rate for care that actually covers the total cost of child care. And those rates should be based on the child and not based on the child's setting, whether they're receiving quality care in a home, group, or center. Support for children and families experiencing trauma due to the challenging behaviors or due to COVID, and those who need early intervention services. We need a clear, consistent, and accessible path for getting services. And finally, while we are proud on this historic journey with the first woman mayor, let's pledge to make a few more historical accomplishments. We need to give families direct access to early care and learning opportunities that will support them in reaching their fullest potential and proclaiming early childhood education a human right for every child in Philadelphia.
Laverne Cheeseborough.
Greetings, Councilmember President Kenyatta Johnson, council members, and Councilmember Lawrence Landau. You hear me? Okay. Thank you for your acknowledgement and resolution on this day. I am the owner of Heavenly Made Creations in Southwest Philadelphia. I am the director, the teacher, cook, nurse, nurturer, janitor, and all things child care. We are understanding the priority and sense of urgency on the major matters of this city. We must remember child care. As early childhood educators, we are the first responders of children from birth to 5 and remain a part of the village in our communities. The service we provide is very unique and not a one-size-fits-all. A work day for us would not succeed without child care for anybody in here. In addition to remembering us on Teacher Appreciation Week, when mentioning K-12, please remember early childhood education.
Next, I want to call up Executive Director on the Mayor's Office of Youth Engagement, hailing from South Philadelphia. I want to start off with first Ms. Shania Bennett.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Shania Bennett. I'm Executive Director of the Mayor's Office of Youth Engagement, and I'm glad to testify before Council today supporting Councilmember Thomas's resolution recognizing Youth Apprenticeship Week. Too often, our young people are not included in the conversation around economic activity, but when Mayor Parker says economic opportunity for all, she means young people will be included in that. You don't even have to take my word for it. Look at the new City College for Municipal Employment in partnership with the Community College of Philadelphia. Mayor Parker knows that employment with the City of Philadelphia can set an individual up for a lifetime of economic stability, and that's what the Mayor Parker's administration is all about. I would also like to highlight the apprenticeship programs that are happening right here in the city of Philadelphia. The Philadelphia Water Department has placed 73% of its apprenticeships participants into permanent civil service opportunities, as well as 9 individuals from the Department of Fleet Services will land permanent civil service opportunities for their futures and future opportunities for them to have substantial opportunities moving forward. These apprenticeships will change these apprentices' lives, and that's what Mayor Parker's administration is all about, and which Mayor Parker is committed to with the Office of Youth Engagement and labor unions and other apprenticeship organizations that offer pre-apprenticeships and apprenticeship opportunities for workforce development. So again, I just want to thank you for allowing me to testify. I have my youth commissioners here. You'll hear from them and other young people, and we just want to say thank you for allowing and recognizing Philadelphia Youth Apprenticeship Week. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Council and my fellow Philadelphians. My name is Michaela Myers, and I'm a member of the Philadelphia Youth Commission. I am testifying on Majority Whip Isaiah Thomas's resolution recognizing Youth Apprenticeship Week. Thank you, Councilmember Thomas, for sponsoring this legislation, and thank you for recognizing the important role apprenticeships play in ushering young people across this city into economic stability. Youth apprenticeships give young people the skills they need to grow into productive, financially stable adults. When you give people pathways to economic opportunity early in their lives, it sets them on the school-to-paycheck pipeline, as Councilmember Jones would say. Too often, young people are depicted as agents of chaos and disorder, but it doesn't have to be that way. I believe the people in this building, under the leadership of Council President Johnson and Mayor Parker, can pave the way for a better quality of life for all Philadelphians, especially us young Philadelphians. And it starts with ensuring we have the skills to thrive in this increasingly competitive job market, which is why youth apprenticeship is so vital. So thank you again, Councilmember Thomas, for celebrating Youth Apprenticeship Week, and thank you for the opportunity to testify today. I do want to make a reminder that we've seen so many young, brilliant minds come through these chambers, and I want you guys to think about that when final passage comes along. Thank you.
Hey, how you doing? My name is P. Michael Boone, and I just want to thank Council President Johnson for allowing Joseph to speak, and also Councilmember Thomas and Gilmore and Richardson. Thank you so much, and here's Joseph Taylor.
Hello, my name is Joseph. I'm 10 years old, and I'm representing the Junior Barber Academy. Since I've been cutting hair, I've been feeling good, and I like cutting hair because you would never know when somebody going through and stuff. And I feel like if I cut hair and give them a good haircut, I could change their day. And also, since I've been in the Junior Barber Academy, I've been gaining new friends, new opportunities, and a great membership.
I think we're going to declare today City Council Youth Day, and so that's what it's about. The clerk, please call the next person, please.
Anton Moore, Kentalila Kent, Alhia Reed, and Andraina Perez Hine also make their way to the podium. Anton Moore, Talila Kent,
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Talia Kent, and I'll be speaking on behalf of the Youth Apprenticeship Week. I would just want to talk from a more personal standpoint as someone who has been in the pre-apprenticeship program and who is now an apprentice. I want to start by thanking Council President Johnson for the opportunity to speak, and thank you, Council Members Thomas and Gilmore Richardson, for introducing the resolution. Youth Apprenticeship Week is designed to increase awareness of registered apprenticeship programs and to highlight the benefits of apprenticeships as a career path. For me personally, I know that came out of high school thinking that college was the only route because I was not told about the options that I had as a student who didn't really want to go to college. And now, after being thousands of dollars in debt, after only doing about 2.5 to 3 years of college, I was able to attend and graduate from the Sammy State and Senior Peer Apprenticeship Program created by Sammy State and Junior. And now I am proud to be an apprentice of the IBEW Local 98. Thank you. And I did all of that with no prior construction experience, no long years of schooling, and no college diploma. And I know for a fact that I'm getting a unique opportunity to make more than I would have if I had finished college with the major that I plan to pursue. And as someone else said, these students, they are our future. And I hope that they get the opportunity to say that they were told about all of their options and say that they were able to make a career for themselves without a college diploma and without going into debt. Thank you.
Alhia Reed, Andrena Perez-Hine, and Monica Robinson.
You can begin.
Hello, good morning. My name is Althea Reed, and I am here speaking on Youth Apprenticeship Week. First, I want to thank Council President Johnson for the opportunity to speak, and a thank you to Council Members Gilmore, Richardson, and Thomas for introducing the resolution. It's an astounding privilege that I stand in this room today. I am here in front of you all because of WINC. What is WINC? Women in Non-Traditional Careers. It is a pre-apprenticeship program that will guide you through the basic requirements to gain entry into an apprenticeship of your choice. As a graduate of WINC and a minority, I am comfortable and confident to walk into any union hall and deposit an application for entry. This is a glass breaker for me, my son, and the other 26 women who graduated with me. The potential opportunities that are available to me and others like me through apprenticeships is potentially life-altering, and I want to thank you for having those programs around to change lives, not just of mine, but of my son and the women who graduated with me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Andrena Perez-Hine, and I am speaking in support of Council Members Thomas and Gilmore Richardson's resolution recognizing Youth Apprenticeship Week in Philadelphia. Thank you to the council members for introducing this resolution and to Council President Johnson for the opportunity to speak here once again. I speak before you as a resident of the 2nd District of Philadelphia, as the executive director of the nonprofit Everybody Builds, but most importantly, as a mother. Today, I am joined by my 7-year-old daughter, Annabelle, and my 6-year-old daughter, Lola, who are young Philadelphians. They are first grade and kindergarten students at Southwark School's two-way Spanish-English immersion program, a hidden gem in our Philadelphia public school system. And we assume this counts as an excused absence. You may recognize them from the Carpenters MLK Day of Service or the NAWIC Block Kids competition. I make it a point to expose them to experiences like these because my own exposure to the construction industry at a young age is what put me on the path to where I am today. Annabelle and Lola love to hear about what I do at work and are always asking why I work so much. So I brought them here today so they could see for themselves and they could hear the passion, commitment, and support our city's leaders, citizens, and their own mom have for supporting youth like them, the future of our city and our workforce. The economic growth of Philadelphia will be driven by expanding opportunities for our young people. This is even more crucial when thinking about our historically underserved communities. Providing youth with meaningful engagement and structured activities and programs, such as apprenticeship, coupled with positive, inspiring role models, is a pillar for violence prevention. Youth apprenticeship programs play a pivotal role in guiding our children away from the streets and towards pathways into skilled careers and lifelong success. These programs are critical in the construction industry for helping to build the next generation of skilled workforce in the trades. This is why Everybody Builds is proud to support union building trades apprenticeship and pre-apprenticeship programs like CARP, Rosie's Girls, Sam Staten, YoeCap, and MyWay. Together, programs like these, working in partnership with our city government, CTE schools, and labor unions, play a critical role in advancing youth into construction careers and building the next generation of skilled trades workforce. But it takes a village. We all need to come together to support, encourage, and celebrate our youth and youth apprenticeship programs. Thank you to our city council members for commemorating the importance of Youth Apprenticeship Week for our city. On behalf of Annabelle and Lola, they thank you for the future career opportunities they will have through youth apprenticeship and pre-apprenticeship programs.
Gracias.
Thank you very much.
Monica Robinson, may Marilyn Pitt, Regina Brown, and Nadir Griffin also make their way to the podium.
So good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Monica Robinson, and I'm also speaking in favor of the resolution for Youth Apprenticeship Week. I know I can't say much more than what's already been said, but I do want to thank you, Council President, for allowing us all to speak today, and I want to thank you, Council Members Thomas and Gilmore Richardson, for co-sponsoring this resolution. I currently serve as the Director of Community Engagement at the Philadelphia AFL-CIO. Now, we are a federation of over 100 unions in the building and construction trades, public and private sector industries in Philadelphia. We fight for social and economic justice. The inaugural Youth Apprenticeship Week, celebrated May 5th through the 11th, supports our fight by increasing awareness of registered apprenticeship programs among youth, parents, educators, and many more. Registered apprenticeship programs provide a pathway to good-paying, family-sustaining careers which allow apprentices to earn while they learn. We all know that youth are the present and future of our workforce. We also know that Philadelphia is the biggest, poorest city in the nation. We must be intentional and ensure youth and young adults, especially those who have been historically underserved and marginalized, have access to opportunities in registered apprenticeship programs. Thank you.
Marilyn Pitt.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Marilyn Pitt, and I've lived in Councilman Young's district for the last 53 years. Prior to my retirement, I worked as a reading specialist in Philadelphia for 40 years, and after retirement, I volunteered as a reading tutor at Hackett Elementary School in Kensington, my local school. I'm here to testify on Bill 240-369, which asks the Council which asks the City Controller to conduct a permanent audit of the funds distributed in Kensington. As a longtime neighbor in this area, I'm invested in making sure the kids in Kensington succeed. I believe the best way for City Council to ensure a quality education for kids in Kensington and for every child in Philadelphia is to increase the share of property taxes going to the school district, providing the schools with $100 million of recurring local revenue. The district is currently underfunded by $1.4 million. The city's share of funding for the schools is $100 million below the funding levels in 2008. We desperately need increases in funding that would allow the district to lower class size below the current ratio of one teacher for 30 students in kindergarten through third grade classrooms, especially since this is the critical period when children are learning to read. The school district is scheduled to launch a new reading curriculum this fall. The curriculum is based on science of reading principles that have had dramatic reading gains in other urban districts. But a new high-quality curriculum is not enough. We need smaller class sizes, and we need teacher training and coaching, along with the books and the materials the curriculum requires. Most of all, we don't want to be in the position of providing yet another inadequately funded and poorly implemented reading program in the Philadelphia schools. If we do this, we are dooming our children to continue to fail in the acquisition of foundational reading skills. That's why I'm here today asking council to invest $100 million in our school district. Thank you.
Regina Brown, Nadira Griffin, and Jeremy Blatstein.
Good morning, City Council. My name is Regina Brown. I'm a mother of 13 children. I live in the West Philadelphia area. I'm here to testify on Bill 240369, which asks the City Controller to conduct a performance audit of the
Regina,
escalations.
just 1 second. Will the Sergeant Arms please close the door? Ms. Regina, you can proceed.
Of the funding distributed to the Kensington area. This bill is intended to make sure the families in the Kensington neighborhood have the resources to thrive. Council members, please look at the flyer on your desk. Now is the time. I want to remind City Council that one way to help families thrive is by expanding PHL Pre-K by 250 seats in this year's budget. As you can see, 58% of kids in Philadelphia are not in Pre-K. 45% of the kids in District 7, which includes Kensington, are not in Pre-K. That means 58% of the kids in Philadelphia and 45% of kids in District 7 are not getting the resources that my kids have experienced. All of my kids have gone through the PHL Pre-K, and I cannot tell you the level of support that I have received because of it. My 5- and 6-year-old are my most recent PHL Pre-K students. My 6-year-old is going into 1st grade this year. Because of PHL Pre-K, I have more confidence that they are prepared for school. Both my 5- and 6-year-old were diagnosed with learning disabilities. Because they were enrolled in PHL Pre-K and PHL Pre-K, both of my children are able to get the services they need to make sure they're not falling behind. They receive speech and occupational therapy. For my rising 1st grader, PHL Pre-K helped him develop good social and emotional skills. He's able to play with age-appropriate toys. He's able to play with his peers. He's able to communicate his needs and wants better. He's able to retain information. The PHL Pre-K team is able to set goals for him and work with him until he reaches these goals. In fact, they don't just work with him, they work with the whole family so that we are able to support him as well. This year, when he enters a new school, I know that he is more prepared. I feel more confident because I have already gotten support through PHL Pre-K, and I'm confident he's better able to get continued support in 1st grade. PHL Pre-K has been an invaluable resource to me and my children. This is why I wanted to share my experience with you. City Council, when you're thinking of ways to support families in neighborhoods like Kensington and across the city, please think of investing in early childhood education. Expand PHL Pre-K by 250 seats in this year's budget. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nadira Griffin, Jeremy Blatstein, then Obona Hagans.
Good morning, councilmen and women. My name is Nadira Griffin. I am the Philadelphia's community ambassador for all 10 city council districts. I am here on behalf of speaking on the resolutions 240, 386, 240, 387, 240, 388, 240, 389, 240, 390. I am in support of the bills, of the resolution, and I want to thank councilmen, all of you, for the courageous job that you are doing. This is a difficult job to represent the people, so I thank you for that. But what I'm also advocating, as well as the community, is that I be appointed one of the board of directors for the land bank. We need someone in the community that's appointed on that board to make sure that we advocate for the people, and not a person that is elected or appointed by council or any other party. So we are advocating for that. As a former teacher of the Philadelphia School District, as a product and graduate of a vocational technical high school of the School District of Philadelphia, we're advocating that no more land is distributed or built until we start building schools for our children. The School District of Philadelphia has schools that are dusty, dingy, dull, dilapidated, and we need to redirect this. We're in desperate disrepair.
So this is beyond, the schools are beyond a Band-Aid. We need surgery. So we're advocating that we start building schools where our children can thrive, where our children can go there, feel safe, and to focus. We have trash around our schools. We need to clean the schools and the trash up around our schools because this creates mental health issues. When we go to our schools and we see the condition that they are in, we want justice, inclusion, and equality in our urban schools. We need to build schools that have STEM classes and trade programs in our schools. So we need new buildings that's bright so our children can go there and feel good about themselves. And that will stop the pipeline to prison when we have quality education for our children. Thank you. And we can do more and we will do more. And I'm asking council, all 17 of you, when will you do more?
Jeremy Blatstein, Obona Hagins, and then Fahim Alexander.
Good morning. My name's Jeremy Blatstein. Raise your hand if you know when the Philadelphia Land Bank holds their monthly meeting. You don't know? Well, over the last year, plenty of the current Land Bank board members didn't know either, which prevented the board from having quorum, which prevented properties from being moved out of the Land Bank. I mean, it's the third Wednesday of every month, right? Nope, just seeing who's paying attention. The Philadelphia Land Bank holds monthly meetings on the second Tuesday of every month. Each board member should block off that second Tuesday to make themselves available. But what is the Philadelphia Land Bank? The Philadelphia Land Bank is a public agency with the mission of reactivating vacant land. It has the legal authority to acquire vacant land and tax delinquent properties to repurpose them. The Land Bank develops land disposition policies that it and other city land holding agencies follow. It has a strategic plan that informs future use of currently vacant land. The last strategic plan was done in 2019, but unfortunately, that plan is as useful as the mixed income neighborhood overlay graphics produced by Land Bank board members. Not useful at all. Why? Councilmatic prerogative. City Council has legislated a disposition policy based on each individual district. That has led to a broken system that is inefficient, ineffective, and inequitable. But the Land Bank is only one piece of the puzzle if Philadelphia is going to accomplish Mayor Parker's goal of 30,000 units in her first term. The process needs to be streamlined. We need to hold Land Bank board members accountable. We need to question their motives, and there needs to be a citywide housing plan. Without that citywide housing plan, nobody will want to put the units in their district. And of course, end councilmatic prerogative. Thank you.
Thank you.
Obona Hagins, Fahim Alexander, then Kate Perez.
Good morning. Obona Hagins, fourth generation chattel slavery survivor. I'm speaking on the appointment of people to the commissions or whatever it is. But I think there needs to be a new commission, an economic safety net commission. People of emancipated ancestry, American freedmen, have been encouraged and left to solve genocidal problems, i.e. redlining, mass incarceration, poverty.
Mr. Obama Higgins, how you doing, good brother?
What's up, man?
The resolution is specifically about the Land Bank appointment, so tailor your comments to
what I'm saying is I'm agreeing that these people are appointed, but I'm also saying that there needs to be something else for someone to be appointed.
Land related. Okay,
so I'm
go
tying
ahead.
it,
Proceed, sir.
Tying it all in. So, so instead of a reparative infrastructure that's enunciated in the 39th Congress in 1865, without institutional infrastructure backed by government appropriations, American freedmen remain vulnerable to impossibilities fashioned and fed as solutions. The Institute for Policy Studies determined that American freedmen will fall to zero wealth in America by 2053. There is no form of education being taught in Philadelphia schools to eliminate the wealth gap or prevent freedmen children from experiencing zero wealth by the year 2053. David G. Blanchflower of MIT research into business credit market concluded that the levels of capital required to start business structurally exclude non-wealthy individuals, regardless of their entrepreneurial talents. American freedmen simply do not have access to the necessary resources to build corporations that the main players for the global economy. The 1862 Homestead Act granted more than 270 million acres of land to private white citizens. The wealth of more than 46 million adults today can trace their wealth back to that. So educational attainment, financial literacy, hard work, and buying black efforts that harness our spending power alone will never prevent the continuation of economic fall of the American freedmen. What we must have is wealth transfer policies rooted in the promise of the 13th Amendment. The 13th Amendment that freed the American freedmen, that freed the slaves, but it also made us equal.
Mr. Higgins.
We're not being made equal. We
about the
need
land.
a commission to deal with the 13th Amendment and the promise of the 13th Amendment that makes the descendants of slavery equal. What does that mean? The schools
Mr. Higgins,
in Bryn
we
Mawr
thank you for
have to be the
your
same. The schools in North
comments
Philly
today.
have to be the same as the schools in Bryn Mawr. If not, it's a constitutional violation. It's a 13th Amendment violation.
Thank you, Mr. Higgins. Thank you, Mr. Higgins. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Higgins. Will the clerk please call the next person?
Fahim Alexander, then Kate Perez, David Robinson, and Eric Desideria. Fahim Alexander.
Good afternoon, Council President.
Good afternoon.
Council members. I appreciate you guys having me here, having our students here of Morrell Dobbins High School. We are currently located at 2150 West Lehigh Avenue. Our school is beautiful. It's a CTE program school. This is my first year there. I'm the barber instructor there. I wrote something real quick. One thing about our CTE programming is the CTE students are remarkable for balancing two curriculums simultaneously alongside traditional academic studies. They dive into hands-on, career-focused training. Our scholars are handling expensive and sometimes dangerous equipment. It's important that we get students in our school for the future. Our CTE program should not be pretty much a dumping site for underperforming students. We would like to have at our school, all students, all black and brown, children in Philadelphia attend our school. We are asking you guys protect our program at Dobbins. Come see what we are about. A lot of children cannot afford to go to college. Our school is a career pathway, to get your barber license, to get your cosmetology license, get your Safe Cert license. It's a lot of programming there. I just would like for you guys to come to our school, visit our school, come see what we are about. Support our children that are there. Show them that they can come to this nice place, to visit you guys and see that success aligns here in the city of Philadelphia.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Kate Perez.
I'm in support of Resolution 240087, teaching people and businesses how to file their taxes. Like this year, there were many workshops by war tax resistance organizations that taught citizens multiple ways to withhold paying federal taxes in protest of our money going straight to a foreign military, instead of back into welfare programs like they're supposed to be. Well, federal taxes are supposed to be rerouted into programs like Medicare and Medicaid. Medical assistance is a privilege to only those who can afford it. Other countries like Palestine have had their hospitals, medic tents, ambulances, and medical personnel specially targeted by the occupation in direct violation of the Geneva Convention. This council claims to care about children, crying about children in our city going hungry, but staying silent when billions of our tax dollars go directly to shelling the more than 600,000 children
Ms.
who are
Perez,
already
today
starving
we
to
are
death in their
focusing
tents.
on tax preparation bill by Ms. Rulindown. Just try to
Yeah, it has
best
to do with
stick
taxes.
with
It's our
the
taxes that are
actual
funding
content.
the bombs. It's on Spring Street, we have people selling weapons. It's Palestinians were celebrating on Sunday when Hamas agreed to the ceasefire to return all the hostages, and they were dead the next day when Israel refused the deal, shut down Al Jazeera, and began their assault on Rafah in direct violation of international law. Biden said Rafah was a red line and he would end arms sales if they invaded Rafah. Are you going to
Ms.
follow
Perez,
Biden?
let's talk about the taxes today, please.
Okay, in terms of taxes, we should end arms sales, condemn Pennsylvania's $56 million war bonds, cut the sister city ties with Tel Aviv, call for a ceasefire. None of this would be possible without our tax dollars. It's past time to call for a ceasefire. It's past time to call for an end to the arms sales. They're bombing Rafah right now, and it's our fault.
Ms.
It's our
Perez, let's talk
taxes.
about the taxes.
Palestine will be free.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Would the clerk please call the next person for public comment, please?
David Robinson.
Thank you. And David Robinson. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
President Johnson, thanks for having us. My name is Eric Desiderio. I've been a dedicated city employee for 38 years with the City of Philadelphia's correctional staff. Last month, I was nominated and elected in as the president to represent our correctional staff as other departments also, so thank you. On behalf of the correctional staff, I would like to thank Curtis Jones Jr., Councilman, for the resolution for recognizing Correctional Officers Week, May 6th to May 10th, for the tireless work that our members do up on State Road and at Local 1637, the correctional staff at the PAB building. Behind me is Chief of Staff for Council David Robinson, and I have Lieutenant Carlos Ruiz with me. Again, I would like to thank Councilman Jones and Council here for recognizing our staff, our correctional staff. And I want to use this public forum to let everyone know that we are hiring. So if you go to philly.gov/jobs and look up correctional officer, because we are in need of staff up there. So I want to thank everyone. Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
There are no further names for public comment.
That concludes today's public comment period. We will now consider the bills and resolutions on the second reading and final passage calendar. Will the clerk please read the title of resolution number 240369?
A resolution initiating action to a neighborhood improvement district known as the East Passyunk Avenue Business Improvement District in an area that generally includes both sides of East Passyunk Avenue from the south side of Federal Street to the east side of Broad Street, certain blocks of streets that intersect that portion of East Passyunk Avenue, both sides of South Broad Street from the north side of McKean Street to the north side of Snyder Avenue, and the west side of South Broad Street from the south side of Mifflin Street to the north side of McKean Street, designating the East Passyunk Avenue Business Improvement District Incorporated, which has organized itself as a Pennsylvania nonprofit corporation, as the Neighborhood Improvement District Management Association for the district, approving a plan for the district, including a list of proposed improvements and their estimated cost, and providing for assessment fees to be levied on property owners within the district, authorizing the Director of Commerce on behalf of the city to execute an agreement with the East Passyunk Avenue Business Improvement District relating to the district, and authorizing the East Passyunk Avenue Business Improvement District to assess property owners within the district a special property assessment fee to be used in accordance with the approved plan, all in accordance with the provision of the Community and Economic Improvement Act under certain terms and conditions.
The chair recognizes council members. Not here. Well, the chair recognizes council member Isaiah Thomas on behalf of Councilman Squilla for a motion regarding resolution number 240369.
Thank you, Council President. On behalf of my neighbor, I move for the adoption of the resolution.
Thank you. It has been moved and properly seconded that resolution number 240369 be adopted. All those in favor of the motion will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it. The motion carries and the resolution is adopted. Would the clerk please read the title of resolution number 240386?
A resolution appointing Jennifer Greenberg to the Board of Directors of the Philadelphia Land Bank.
The chair recognizes Councilmember Jamie Gardier for a motion regarding resolution number 240386.
Thank you, Council President. On your behalf, I call for the adoption of the resolution.
It has been moved and properly seconded that resolution number 240386 be adopted. All those in favor of the motion will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it. The motion carries and the resolution is adopted. Would the clerk please read the title of resolution number 240387?
A resolution appointing Maria Gonzalez to the Board of Directors of the Philadelphia Land Bank.
The chair recognizes Councilmember Jamie Gardier for a motion regarding resolution number 240387.
Thank you, Council President. On your behalf, I move for the adoption of the resolution.
It has been moved and properly seconded that resolution number 240387 be adopted. All those in favor of the motion will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it. The motion carries and the resolution is adopted. Would the clerk please read the title of resolution number 240388?
A resolution appointing Michael Johns to the Board of Directors of the Philadelphia Land Bank.
The chair recognizes Councilmember Jamie Gardier for a motion regarding resolution number 240388.
Thank you, Council President. On your behalf, I call for the adoption of the resolution.
It has been moved and properly seconded that resolution number 240388 be adopted. All those in favor of the motion will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it. The motion carries and the resolution is adopted. Would the clerk please read the title of resolution number 240389?
A resolution appointing Andrew Goodman to the Board of Directors of the Philadelphia Land Bank.
The chair recognizes Councilmember Jamie Gardier for a motion regarding resolution number 240389.
Thank you, Council President. On your behalf, I call for the adoption of the resolution.
It has been moved and properly seconded that resolution number 240389 be adopted. All those in favor of the motion will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it. The motion carries and the resolution is adopted. Would the clerk please read the title of resolution number 240390?
A resolution appointing Nicholas Dima to the Board of Directors of the Philadelphia Land Bank.
The chair recognizes Councilmember Jamie Gardier for a motion regarding resolution number 240390.
Thank you, Council President. On your behalf, I call for the adoption of the resolution.
It has been moved and properly seconded that resolution number 240390 be adopted. All those in favor of the motion will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it. The motion carries and the resolution is adopted. Would the clerk please read the title of resolution number 240391?
A resolution also naming the 4100 block of Parkside Avenue as Reverend Dr. Arthur White Way to honor the life and memory of Reverend Dr. Arthur R. White and his service to the East Parkside community.
The chair recognizes Councilmember Jamie Gardier for a motion regarding resolution number 240391.
Thank you, Council President. I call for the adoption of the resolution.
It has been moved and properly seconded that resolution number 240391 be adopted. All those in favor of the motion will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it. The motion carries. The resolution is adopted. Let's give them a round of applause. Will the clerk please read the title of resolution number 240397?
A resolution requesting the city controller to conduct a performance audit on all locations and funding distributed by the city in the Kensington area and examine the policies and procedures of the recipients and their impact on the city of Philadelphia.
The chair recognizes Councilman Lozada for a motion regarding resolution number 240397.
Thank you, Council President. I move for the adoption.
Quick second. It has been moved and properly seconded that resolution number 240397 be adopted. All those in favor of the motion will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it. The motion carries. The resolution is adopted. Would the clerk please read the title of resolution number 240402?
A resolution adding Georgi Castriati Skenderbu Way to the street signs on Willits Road between Holme Avenue and Academy Road in recognition of the new Albanian American Community Center being constructed at 3322 Willits Road by the Philadelphia Albanian American chapter of Bijait E. Skypes.
The chair recognizes Councilmember Driscoll for a motion regarding resolution number 240402.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the adoption of the resolution.
It has been moved and properly seconded that resolution number 240402 be adopted. All those in favor of the motion will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it. The motion carries, and the resolution is adopted. Would the clerk please read the title of resolution number 240403?
A resolution authorizing the Commissioner of Public Property to execute and deliver to the Philadelphia Redevelopment Authority deeds conveying fee simple title to 1532 West Loudon Street in the 8th Councilmanic District of the City of Philadelphia, and further authorizing the Philadelphia Redevelopment Authority to transfer to the Philadelphia Land Bank fee simple title to such properties pursuant to Section 16-405 of the Philadelphia Code.
The chair recognizes Councilmember Captain Gilmore Richardson for a motion regarding resolution number 240403 on behalf of Councilmember Bass.
Thank you, Mr. President. On behalf of Councilmember Bass, I move for the adoption of the resolution.
It has been moved and properly seconded that resolution number 240403 be adopted. All those in favor of the motion will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it. The motion carries, and the resolution is adopted. Would the clerk please read the title of bill number 240192?
An ordinance approving the Fifth Amendment of the redevelopment proposal for the Tioga Urban Renewal Area, being the area generally bounded by Hunting Park Avenue on the north, Broad Street, Germantown Avenue, Venango Street, 15th Street, Allegheny Avenue and Germantown Avenue on the east, Glenwood Avenue and Lehigh Avenue on the south, and 23rd Street, Allegheny Avenue, and 22nd Street on the west, including the Fifth Amendment to the Urban Renewal Plan, which provides for changes that would make it consistent with the Tioga Redevelopment Area Plan and generally consistent with the most recent comprehensive plan approved by the City Planning Commission of the City of Philadelphia.
This bill having been read on 2 different days, the question now is, shall the bill pass finally? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Phillips. Councilmember Gilmore Richardson. Councilmember Gautier. Councilmember Thomas. Councilmember Jones. Councilmember Landau. Councilmember Losada. Councilmember Young. Councilmember Brooks. Councilmember Harity. Councilmember O'Rourke. Councilmember Driscoll. Councilmember O'Neill. Councilmember Squilla. Councilmember Bass voted aye. Councilmember Ahmad is absent. Council President Johnson.
Aye. The ayes are 16, the nays are 0. Majority of all members having voted in the affirmative, the bill passes. Will the clerk please read the title of bill number 240215?
An ordinance to amend the Philadelphia zoning maps by changing the zoning designations of certain areas of land located within an area bounded by Allegheny Avenue, American Street, Lippincott Street, 2nd Street, Gurney Street, Indiana Avenue, 3rd Street, Gurney Street, Clearfield Street, and 5th Street.
This bill having been read on 2 different days, the question now is, shall the bill pass finally? The chief clerk will please call the roll.
Councilmember Phillips. Aye. Councilmember Gilmore Richardson. Councilmember Gautier. Councilmember Thomas. Councilmember Jones. Councilmember Landau. Councilmember Losada. Councilmember Young. Councilmember Brooks. Councilmember Harity. Councilmember O'Rourke. Councilmember Driscoll. Councilmember O'Neill. Councilmember Squilla. Councilmember Bass voted aye. Council President Johnson.
Aye. The ayes are 16, the nays are 0. Majority of all members having voted in the affirmative, the bill passes. Will the clerk please read the title of bill number 240216?
An ordinance to amend the Philadelphia zoning maps by changing the zoning designations of certain areas of land located within an area bounded by Somerset Street, Orkney Street, Cumberland Street, and 5th Street.
This bill having been read on 2 different days, the question now is, shall the bill pass finally? Will the chief clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Phillips. Aye. Councilmember Gilmore Richardson. Aye. Councilmember Gautier. Aye. Councilmember Thomas. Aye. Councilmember Jones. Aye. Councilmember Landau. Aye. Councilmember Losada. Aye. Councilmember Young. Councilmember Brooks. Aye. Councilmember Harity. Aye. Councilmember O'Rourke. Aye. Councilmember Driscoll. Aye. Councilmember O'Neill. Councilmember Squilla. Councilmember Bass voted aye. Council President Johnson.
Aye. The ayes are 16, the nays are 0. Majority of all members having voted in the affirmative, the bill passes. Will the clerk please read the title of bill number 240244?
An ordinance amending Section 14-529 of the Philadelphia Code entitled VDO 5th District Overlay District by removing the exemption from the landscaping standards in the zoning code, all under certain terms and conditions.
This bill having been read on 2 different days, the question now is, shall the bill pass finally? Will the chief clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Phillips. Councilmember Gilmore Richardson. Councilmember Gautier. Councilmember Thomas. Councilmember Jones. Councilmember Landau. Councilmember Losada. Councilmember Young. Councilmember Brooks. Councilmember Harity. Councilmember O'Rourke. Councilmember Driscoll. Councilmember O'Neill. Councilmember Squilla. Councilmember Bass voted aye. Council President Johnson.
Aye. The ayes are 16, the nays are 0. Majority of all members having voted in the affirmative, the bill passes. Will the clerk please read the title of Bill number 240247?
An ordinance to amend the Philadelphia zoning maps by changing the zoning designations of certain areas of land located within an area bounded by Kensington Avenue, Buckia Street, Frankfurt Avenue, and Tioga Street.
The chair recognizes Councilmember Driscoll for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to offer an amendment to Bill number 240247. A copy of the amendment has been circulated to all members of council. I move for the adoption of the amendment.
It has been moved and properly seconded that the amendment to Bill number 240247 be adopted. All those in favor will indicate by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it, and the bill has been amended. This bill will be placed on the final passage calendar for our next session of council. Will the clerk please read the title of Bill number 240087?
An ordinance amending Chapter 9-600 of the Philadelphia Code entitled Service and Other Businesses by adding a new section regulating the operation of establishments, providing tax preparation services, and providing for remedies, all under certain terms and conditions.
Good job, Brew. The chair recognizes Councilman Rue Landau for a motion.
Thank you, Council President. I would like to offer an amendment to Bill number 240087. A copy of the amendment has been circulated to all members of council. I move for the adoption of the amendment.
It has been moved and quickly seconded that the amendment to Bill number 240087 be adopted. All those in favor will indicate by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it, and the bill has been amended. This bill will be placed on our final passage calendar for our next session of council. The clerk will please read any additional resolutions on today's calendar.
A privileged resolution introduced by Nina Ahmad welcoming TEDx Dilworth Park to the city of Philadelphia and recognizing them for their commitment to ideas worth spreading on a global scale.
The chair recognizes Majority Leader Captain Gilmore Richardson for a motion on the resolution.
Thank you, Council President. On behalf of Councilmember Ahmad, I move for the adoption of the resolution.
It has been moved and properly seconded that the resolution be adopted. All those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it, and the resolution is adopted. Will the clerk please read the title of the next resolution?
A privileged resolution honoring and congratulating the Educator of the Month, William W. Sachs, for his dedication to his students at South Philadelphia High School, introduced by Councilmember Thomas.
The chair recognizes Councilmember Thomas for a motion on the resolution.
Thank you, Council President. I move for the adoption of the resolution.
It has been moved and properly seconded that the resolution be adopted. All those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it, and the resolution is adopted. Will the clerk please read the title of the next resolution?
A privileged resolution declaring May 5th to May 11th, 2024 as Youth Apprenticeship Week in the City of Philadelphia and recognizing the impact of youth apprenticeship programs on the workforce development in the City of Philadelphia, introduced by Councilmember Thomas and Gilmore Richardson.
The chair recognizes Councilmember Thomas for a motion on the resolution.
Thank you, Council President, and of course, thank you to our Majority Leader, who's been a strong advocate as it relates to these amazing apprenticeship programs. And with that being said, with her, we move for the adoption of the resolution.
It has been moved and properly seconded that the resolution be adopted. All those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it, and the resolution is adopted.
A privileged resolution introduced by Councilmember Jones proclaiming May 5th through 11th, 2024 as a National Correctional Officers and Employees Week in the City of Philadelphia, to celebrate the dedicated work of correctional officers and staff at the Philadelphia Department of Prisons.
The chair recognizes Councilmember Jones for a motion on the resolution.
On behalf of all of the members who have walked State Road and on those pods, I move for the adoption.
It has been moved and properly seconded that the resolution be adopted. All those in favor will signify by saying aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it, and the resolution is adopted. Will the clerk please read the title of the next resolution?
A privileged resolution introduced by Councilmember Jones honoring and recognizing the runners who competed in the 2024 Independence Blue Cross Broad Street Run, as well as the dedicated work of the Special Events Emergency, Medical, Technician, and Fire Department teams who were responsible for keeping the race a safe and enjoyable experience for all.
The chair recognizes Councilmember Curtis Jones for a motion on the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for its adoption.
It has been moved and properly seconded that the resolution be adopted. All those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it, and the resolution is adopted. Will the clerk please read the title of the next resolution?
A privileged resolution introduced by Councilmember Landau declaring May 9th, 2024 as Black Teacher Appreciation Day in the city of Philadelphia.
The chair recognizes Councilmember Rue Landau for a motion on the resolution.
Thank you, Council President. It's introduced by me and Councilmember Thomas. I move for the adoption of the resolution.
It has been moved and properly seconded that the resolution be adopted. All those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it, and the resolution is adopted. Will the clerk please read the title of the next resolution?
A privileged resolution introduced by Councilmember Landau declaring May 10th, 2024 as Child Care Provider Appreciation Day in the city of Philadelphia and recognizing the essential value that child care providers have in our community.
The chair recognizes Councilman Rue Landau for a motion on the resolution.
Thank you, Council President. Introduced on behalf of me and Councilmember Brooks, I move for the adoption of the resolution.
It has been moved and properly seconded that the resolution be adopted. All those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it, and the resolution is adopted. Will the clerk please read the title of the next resolution?
A privileged resolution introduced by Councilmember Young recognizing the week of May 6th through the 10th, 2024 as Well-Being Week in Law in the city of Philadelphia.
The chair recognizes Councilmember Jay Young for a motion on the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for its adoption.
It has been moved and properly seconded that the resolution be adopted. All those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it, and the resolution is adopted. Will the clerk please read the title of the next resolution?
A privileged resolution introduced by Councilmember Brooks honoring and recognizing O'Shea Leon Sibley, a dancer, choreographer, and life-changing community leader who inspired countless performers with his passion and ambition, advocated tirelessly for Black, queer, and transgender communities, and empowered youth to find their distinct paths to greatness.
The chair recognizes Councilmember Brooks for a motion on the resolution.
Thank you, Council President. I move for the adoption of the resolution.
It has been moved and properly seconded that the resolution be adopted. All those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it, and the resolution is adopted. Will the clerk please read the title of the next resolution?
A privileged resolution introduced by Councilmember Harity on behalf of Council President Johnson honoring, recognizing, and congratulating Philabundance, the Greater Philadelphia area's largest hunger relief organization, on the occasion of its 40th anniversary.
The chair recognizes Councilmember Jim Hardy for a motion on the resolution.
I move for the adoption of the resolution.
It has been moved and properly seconded that the resolution be adopted. All those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it, and the resolution is adopted. Will the clerk please read the title of the next resolution?
A privileged resolution honoring and celebrating Muriel Dobbins Career and Technical Education High School's Mustang Barbershop for its excellence in cultivating an exemplary career and technical education program in the art of barbering, introduced by Councilmember O'Rourke.
The chair recognizes Councilmember O'Rourke for a motion on the resolution.
Thank you, Council President. I move for the adoption of that resolution.
It has been moved and properly seconded that the resolution be adopted. All those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it, and the resolution is adopted. Would the clerk please read the title of the next resolution?
A privileged resolution introduced by Councilmember Squilla on behalf of Council President Johnson, honoring Dexter Resta for his acceptance to Yale University and recognizing Dexter's historic achievement as the first prep charter high school graduate to earn a full scholarship to Yale.
The chair recognizes Councilmember Squilla for a motion on the resolution.
Thank you, Council President. On your behalf, I move for the adoption of the resolution. Second.
It has been moved and properly seconded that the resolution be adopted. All those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it, and the resolution is adopted. Would the clerk please read the title of the next resolution?
A privileged resolution introduced by Councilmember Bass, recognizing Mount Airy Day this Saturday, May 11th, as we embrace the spirit of community and its enduring commitment to building bridges, breaking down barriers, and fostering a sense of belonging among all residents of Mount Airy.
The chair recognizes Majority Leader Captain Gilmore Richardson for a motion on the resolution on behalf of Councilmember Cindy Bass.
Thank you, Council President. On behalf of Councilmember Bass, I move for the adoption of the resolution.
It has been moved and properly seconded that the resolution be adopted. All those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it, and the resolution is adopted.
Council President, there are no further resolutions in my possession.
Thank you very much. That completes our calendar for today. I got them speeches popping. On behalf, we're finished, yes. On behalf of the minority, are there any speeches? The chair recognizes Councilmember Kendra Brooks.
Thank you, Council President. I'm introducing a resolution to honor O'Shea Sibley, who was born and raised here in Philadelphia, attended Philadelphia schools, trained with Philadelphia dance companies before moving to New York. My office created a citation for O'Shea last fall, and I'm glad that his family is able to join us today so that we can honor him as a full council body. Can they please stand? With us for today's session are O'Shea's parents, Onisa Sibley, Jake Kelly, as well as his sisters, Destiny and Desira Kelly. Today, we join them in mourning a beautiful and beloved young black man, a talented dancer and choreographer, and a powerful force for love and liberation. O'Shea was known for his ability to turn any floor into a dance floor, a place to share joy, embrace self-love, and celebrate the beauty and energy that defines the Vogue movement in Black queer spaces. He used dance to promote social change, to transform our world into a place that welcomes and affirms all of us. That change did not come soon enough. Not for O'Shea, and not for countless Black queer youth who cannot escape the homophobia and racism that continue to poison our society. We owe it to O'Shea Sibley and his family and loved ones to continue building a world that values and protects Black queer youth. I am co-introducing a resolution with Rue Landau to declare tomorrow, May 10th, Child Care Provider Appreciation Day in Philadelphia. I'm a mother of 4 children. I've worked as a child care provider when I was younger, and I also have several family members and loved ones who work and own child care centers here in Philadelphia. The work of child care is something that we all depend on, and the people who do the work that have immense responsibility in shaping the minds, bodies, and hearts of the next generations. And yet, child care workers are the majority. Women of color are undervalued and severely underpaid. Just like teachers, they deserve so much more than appreciation. They deserve higher pay, better working conditions, and necessary resources and supports to do their job well. With this resolution, we recognize the true value of the work that child care providers do, and we commit to making that work more sustainable in the future. Thank you so much, Council President.
You're welcome. Congratulations. The chair recognizes Councilmember O'Rourke.
Thank you, Council President, and good afternoon to my colleagues, our guests that have been here today, and the viewing public. I'd also like to thank the many guests we had in this space yesterday morning, any and everyone who came out to the Committee on the Environment's hearing on urban agriculture in Philadelphia. My fellow committee members and I learned so much about urban green spaces, how they build community health and unity, and how we need to support the community stewards of these spaces. Testifiers lifted up the need for more dollars to flow into the Department of Health's Food Justice Initiative, which purchases seeds, tools, and soil, and many, many more things for urban gardeners. They also stress the importance of land ownership and sovereignty, not just access, something that we're going to have to address as we work to reform the land bank. Those were the action items our neighbors working in this space gave us. So it behooves us to figure out what we can make shape for them, as well as us, really, because it benefits all of us. Thanks to everyone who worked to make the hearing well-attended, informative, and resourceful. There's that. Secondly, today's business. I want to send a huge shout out to the graduate employees at Penn University who won their union certification vote last week by an overwhelming margin. The final tally was 1,807 in favor, 97 opposed. That, to me, is a clear mandate. The fight isn't over just yet, though. Unfortunately, Penn, our city's largest employer, isn't always so keen on their workers organizing, so we need to hold the university accountable to acting in good faith as a contract is, in fact, negotiated. Besides, Penn should be used to this by now. This latest win for Penn workers is the cresting of a wave, the result of years of organizing. Here's a quick rundown. In August 2021, over 30 cultural workers at the Penn Museum affiliated with DC 47 and won their union. Despite about 2 years of stalling tactics, Penn Museum workers won their first contract last year. That's worthy of acknowledgement. Last May, almost a year to the day, over 1,000 medical residents and fellows affiliated with CIR, SEIU broke new ground and won their union. They're working out their first contract right now. We had the benefit of going down and standing with them a few days ago. In September, the RAs at Penn got in on the act, forming the first residential assistant union in Philadelphia, and RAs at Swarthmore and at Drexel have since followed their lead as well. So now we've reached this point, and the success of graduate workers has not come overnight. This is the high point of a 20-year campaign among graduate workers at Penn, and their union is now the largest private sector union in the history of Philadelphia, which is amazing. So that little timeline shows that thousands of Penn employees have unionized in the last 5 years, and it certifies something that we already should know, that unions belong at Penn. A unionized workforce at the city's largest employer is not only beneficial to the workers at Penn, it raises labor standards and conditions across the entire city. We will see positive ripple effects because of the organizing on campus. And as a body that makes law, more than a duty, we all probably have a desire to see the law that we make actually upheld and to ensure the right to collectively bargain is honored, not delayed or denied. When that happens, it's on us to say something and to remind employers of the expectation that they acknowledge and honor the law that is made. Congratulations again to graduate workers at Penn, along with the host of freshly unionized workers on campus. And thank you to my colleagues who co-sponsored this resolution and have signed letters supporting Penn workers. Thirdly, I'm also glad to have the chance to honor the students and staff who power the Mustang Barbershop at Muriel Dobbins Career and Technical Education High School, who you might have seen recently on Good Morning America, and who you heard from a little bit today. Dobbins has 12 CTE programs, but the Mustang Barbershop course prepares students to pass the Commonwealth's barbering license exam and passes on key entrepreneurial advice and strategy for students intent on making a career as a hairstylist, among other cosmetic professions. To instructors Fahim Alexander and Angela Miller, they did have to leave to get on back before 2 o'clock. Thank you for the work that you do with our young people. This kind of culturally relevant education is a key element of what makes what helps to make Philadelphia a better city. Again, thank you to my colleagues who co-sponsored that resolution with me, and thank you to everyone from Dobbins who made it out this morning to join us. Finally, this last thing, I just want to thank our minority leader, the Honorable Kendra Brooks, for introducing a resolution honoring O'Shea Sibley. I spoke his name into the record as we honored Safira Cristal, and it's a privilege to do so again today. I also had the honor of being with a number of my colleagues and friends from the queer community as we did, in fact, go to the celebration of his life down at the Met. We need to remember his story and his legacy of resistance as we continue to support the Black queer community in this city. May his memory be a blessing to those who knew and love him. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Speeches on behalf of the majority. The chair recognizes Councilmember Phillips.
Good afternoon, Council President. I'll be brief. I simply wanted to pay tribute to an incredible teacher this week who passed away due to gun violence, domestic violence. Andrea Glaze was a very good friend of a very good friend of mine, Lorena Zeller, and they went to Kappa High School together, and Kappa High School graduates are very tight. And what I know about her, she was an Alany High School teacher, and she filled the room with joy and excitement, and the individuals that knew her, including her students, said Ms. Glaze is one of the best teachers in their lives. So I just wanted to see if we could have a moment of silence for Miss Andrea Glaze, if I standing. A moment of silence. Thank you. In addition to that, in addition to Ms. Andrea Glaze, who her tribute will be on Monday, if anyone is interested in doing a vigil, participate in her vigil, it's going to be at 6 o'clock at Alany High School. So also, Councilman Nicholas O'Rourke will be co-introducing putting together a citation for her together as well with his office. So we're looking forward to that. Wadsworth Day is back in the 9th District, Saturday, June 29th from 12 to 7 p.m. If you visit my Instagram and Facebook, there's a commercial video. So Phillips DST9 to learn more about that Wadsworth Day event. Also this week we introduced a curfew, a bill that will help us regulate businesses in the 9th District, particularly making sure that some areas in Western Lane and Monterey do not have inappropriate businesses in our area. And I want to thank our Councilman Lozada for helping to inspire some of the work that we're trying to do in the 9th District through her bill that she did several months ago. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out. It came from the residents of the district. Every meeting I go to, I always get some new information from residents and how we can make our district better. And I just want to thank all the residents of the 9th District for holding us accountable so we can do the work of the Lord. And lastly, I just have to say this. I know it's going to be up for final passage next week, but Council President, under your leadership, I just want to really say that this body of council is truly doing its best and hardest to work together. We don't bicker, we don't cuss at each other, we don't hold grudges. We are finding ways we are finding ways, even when we disagree, to really come together for the city of Philadelphia. And I just want to say that, I'm really happy to see that among all of us. I mean, Councilwoman Rue, this is really inspired by, Councilmember Rue Landau. She's had a really, really good interest in this tax preparation bill. And, we found ways to work together to really, really, put this together so it can be really good for the city of Philadelphia. So she really inspired me to say that comment today, and I just want to say that, that is how I know that we're all going to be able to, get some of our things together for our city and just not be like, I don't know what we used to do or how we did things, but I'm just happy that we're all here together, and I want to thank you for, bringing us together.
You're welcome. Thank you. Good job, Rue Landau. The chair recognizes Councilmember Curtis Jones.
Well, I just want to say I don't want to be dubbed the Kendrick Lamar nor the Drake of council, but they not like us. And I'm just going to keep it plain. I was inspired by Rabbi Fernelli today, who said that when you hear things, see things, it is your obligation to speak to them. And in that tradition, if we all agree that lives lost, humanity lost anywhere is a problem, whether it's Jews, whether it's Muslims, whether it's Christians, we want it to stop. And since this war in Gaza, there's been 35,000 deaths. So much so that even people who traditionally were, kind of laissez-faire about it, including our president, including speakers of the House, have spoken and risen to say, enough is enough. And I pray for peace. I do not subscribe to who started it. That has to be dealt with. But I always, when I first heard of this, I said if assailants who were in public housing went in the neighborhood and shot somebody, then ran into projects, would we destroy the projects? Getting at them? No, we wouldn't. We'd have to play by the Marcus of Queensberry rules to apprehend them. And that's all I want. And so, again, I don't want to be the malcontent or anything like that, but y'all not like us. Thank you, Mr. President.
You're welcome. Councilmember Jones. The chair recognizes Councilmember Jamie Gardier.
I don't feel like the council member specified which one was Drake, but I'm gonna let it go. Today we renamed the 4100 block of Parkside Avenue Reverend Dr. Arthur White Way in honor of the life and memory of Reverend Dr. Arthur R. White. If you grew up in East Parkside or Mantua, chances are you knew Dr. White. Throughout his pastorate, the East Parkside community knew they had a friend in Dr. White and the Christ Community Baptist Church. He always taught that the church existed to serve the community. Dr. White pastored Christ Community Baptist Church from October 1981 until March 2020, a tenure during which he was a tremendous blessing to CCBC, the East Parkside community, and the church at large community. Dr. White served as president of the Baptist Pastors and Ministers Conference of Philadelphia and its vicinity, as well as 2 terms as president of the PA Baptist State Convention and dean of Christian education for the National Baptist Convention USA, Inc. Under Dr. White's effective and faithful leadership, CCBC housed a homeless shelter for men, faithfully and consistently fed and clothed the less fortunate, and championed AIDS awareness, education, and prevention throughout East Parkside and Mantua communities. During Dr. White's ecclesial tenure, many ministers were licensed, ordained, and trained for the ministry. Dr. White has many sons and daughters throughout the city and nation. Dr. White's life, legacy, and ministry exemplify selfless and sacrificial service in ministry, community, and family. I'm proud to rename the 4100 block of Parkside Avenue after such a dedicated and prolific community leader and pastor. I also want to thank some of Pastor White's family members and community who joined us today: Reverend Kevin L. Hainsworth Sr., Sister Cassandra Tart, Trustee Laverne Brockington, and everyone from the Christ Community Baptist Church, East Parkside, and Mantua who joined us to celebrate. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. The chair recognizes Councilmember Lozada.
Thank you, Council President. I'd like to just begin by giving gratitude to some of my colleagues. I had the pleasure of having Councilmember Majority Leader Gilmore Richardson, Phillips, and O'Rourke. and Nick Overwick tour the district with me last Friday, and we had an opportunity to talk to businesses, students, some of those who are living unsheltered, and just wanted to say thank you to them for taking the time out of their day to just come to see what our community residents face every day, and I'm looking forward to touring the district with my other colleagues who have also accepted the invitation to come visit with me. I'd also like to thank Councilmember Gilmore Richardson for always being so thoughtful. She makes sure that whether it's Father's Day, Christmas, whatever holiday it is, that we get a special token from her. And so thank you so much for your thoughtfulness. Today we were able to pass a resolution auditing the Department of DBH-IDS. Last week we passed the formation of the special committee on Kensington. And I just want to, today or this week, I don't know what it is, I'm just feeling really grateful for all of you. We had an encampment resolution yesterday. It's just difficult, right? Sometimes we think that throwing money at people or at places or things is going to bring a resolution to the situation. And we have seen in the Kensington community how doing so has done nothing for them. There was a lot that I expected to see as a result of the encampment resolution yesterday. And I don't know if it was a blessing or a curse that Mother Nature decided to bring a downpour before the encampment resolution started. And folks picked up their belongings and left. I find it really frustrating that there are some out there that want to tell the story differently than what it was. We have to be proud of the people who work for us as colleagues across city departments, and I know it's not easy. Departments like DBH-IDS, departments like OSH, departments like the Philadelphia Police Department, the Managing Director's Office, Streets and Sanitation, our partners on the ground like Rock Ministries, all of those folks were ready to provide services, to connect people to an opportunity to live and choose recovery and prevention services. Folks were ready to provide housing opportunities, and before they could get there, Mother Nature decided to downpour and folks left. And the story is being told differently. The story is being told that police were not friendly, that police harassed people, that outreach workers were not able to connect with people, and that is false. That is false. Yes, people were not there when the service providers arrived, but that doesn't mean that people didn't get services, because our outreach workers, many outreach workers, did what they were trained to do and went to find people. They went to connect people with services because there was a commitment by all of us on the ground to go connect people with services and provide them with opportunities. As a result of that, in the last 30 days, 2,231 people were connected with. Yes, some of those people were connected with multiple times, but we all know that it takes multiple times before people accept resources. 280 people were brought off the street yesterday. They went into treatment, they went into detox, they went into shelter, they went and got wound care. 280 people, 280 families were able to sleep better last night because they knew that their loved ones were in a safer place than on the street. Why can't we talk about that story? Why do we focus on creating shit that is wrong, that is false? I'm grateful for this administration, and we may not agree with everything that the mayor is proposing, right? But I'm grateful for the fact that she has made Kensington a priority beyond just throwing money at it. I'm grateful because all of you voted to support a committee that will allow us to continue to figure out where is that money, who's providing the service, who's receiving the service, and what is wrong. Who's wrong? Who are the bad players in all of this? Because there are some. And regardless of who those people are connected to, you may not get those contracts again, and we all have to be okay with it. But we have to understand that, or we have to accept that what we have been doing in the Kensington community thus far has not worked, and we need to do things differently. And so I'm grateful. Today, I'm feeling grateful. It may not have been how I wanted to see it. It may not have been how the community wanted to see it. It may not have been the ideal situation. Folks may be in the surrounding areas. Thank you. But we responded, and outreach workers stayed out there throughout the night, making sure that they went onto them side streets and continued to connect with people. And so I'm hopeful that the residents of Kensington, that this administration, that all of you stay committed to fighting for a better quality of life for the children and families of that community. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Member Lozada, for your leadership. The chair recognizes the council member, Captain Gilmore Richardson.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Council President, and thank you to my colleague and our 7th District Council Member, Ketsi Lozada, for her continued commitment to the 7th Council District, not just now as a member, but previously as a Chief of Staff and Council, and working on the ground throughout community organizations, really learning and knowing that community and understanding the very nuanced needs of the 7th Council District. I was really honored to join you and our colleagues, Councilmember Phillips and Councilmember O'Rourke, last Friday. And I will tell you, I've been to Kensington all my life. I was born and raised here in the city. My mother used to take us shopping back when the Salvation Army was down under the L, and she would purchase our washer and dryers and refrigerators under the L in Kensington when I was growing up. But going down there last Friday, it was really tough, and I didn't realize it until I got home and really had an opportunity to think about all the information we heard and everything we saw. And we had the opportunity to meet with students at one of the local elementary schools and really listen directly to them and their thoughts about what's happening in their community, in and around their community, and a meeting with the principal who talked about all the measures they had to take as a school community just to ensure that the teachers and the staff could get in and out of the building safely. But in addition to that, listening to the young people talk about what they experience on their walk to school and what they see on their walk home. And I just can't imagine now as a mother and as a parent having my children live through that environment every single day. And that's what these families and community members have been facing. It just broke my heart. One of the students in particular that we met at the school, once we got to the avenue in the 3100 block of Kensington Avenue in specific, she got out of her vehicle with her aunt, and her aunt was taking her and her brother to go get haircuts. And we were in the middle of 10 tents, individuals using, and it was so disheartening on both sides. But it was really, really hard to see, and just, she was happy and living right there in that environment, and just going home and picking up my children afterwards from school. I was exacerbated. I did not go anywhere else that day. I stayed home that evening, and I actually went to bed early because it was a lot to take in. So I just want to thank you, colleague, for your continued commitment and for all the work that all the city departments did in seeking to bring some level of resolution for the community on this issue. And I, too, did thank those departments yesterday individually for their service and look forward to the continued work that we must do together, not only for the community, but for the individuals who desperately need help and assistance to move on from the throes of addiction. Council President, I also wanted to just recognize our colleague and our resident pastor and Reverend Councilmember O'Rourke. We were out on the avenue last week, and we met quite a few individuals, and we met a lady, I won't share her name, but it was her 67th birthday on Monday, this past Monday. And she said, my birthday is on Monday, I'm turning 67, does anyone have a Bible that you can give me? And I said, oh, I'm so sorry, we don't have a Bible. She said, well, you know, can you pray for us? And I said, well, we actually have a pastor here. And so our colleague prayed with this young woman in advance of her 67th birthday. And I know it made all the difference for her that day. And I just want to uplift what he did. It was so powerful. And thank you very, very much, colleague, for that prayer, for that young woman on the avenue. And finally, I just wanted to thank my colleague, Councilmember Isaiah Thomas, who introduced a resolution in support of Youth Apprenticeship Week that I co-introduced with him today. I want to thank all of our partners who joined us to support this work. And in honor of that work, I want to formally announce the release of my 2024 Apprenticeship Guidebook for the City of Philadelphia. This is the most updated version of our Apprenticeship Guidebook, and we now have 9 pre-apprenticeship programs and 31 apprenticeship programs across the city of Philadelphia. This book is a one-stop shop for everything you need to know about these programs, all the prerequisites, all the requirements, everything you may need to join the local union or pre-apprenticeship program. And I just want to thank some of our colleagues who work with us. You know that I partner with State Representative Joe Hohenstein up in the 177th. We do all of this work together, including all the labor fairs across schools in the city of Philadelphia. And it's 4 people in particular, and you did hear from Monica Robinson from the Philadelphia AFL-CIO, but it's 4 people who have been with us from the very beginning and help us with putting the book together. And that would be Ryan M. Boyer, Business Manager of Labor's District Council of Metropolitan Area of Philadelphia and Vicinity, and Business Manager of the Philadelphia Construction and Building Trades Council, Danny Bowder, President of Philadelphia AFL-CIO, Pat Eiding, President Emeritus of Philadelphia Council AFL-CIO, Corin M. Parker, who's the chapter president of the Philadelphia Coalition of Labor Union Women, and special thanks to my team, Council President, who helps to compile all of this information each year, and to your team, who helps us put it together and makes this information look lovely. It's a QR code on the front, and so you can take a copy of the QR code and share it with a young person in your life. To date, we've given out more than 6,000 apprenticeship guidebooks in the city of Philadelphia, working with our CTE teachers and others, and we will give out at least 5,000 copies of this guidebook. So I just wanted to say thank you all for your continued commitment to uplifting our young people, helping connect them with family supporting and sustaining opportunities in our city, and certainly the journey continues. Thank you, Council President.
You're welcome. Good job, Madam Leader. The chair recognizes Rue Landau.
Thank you, Council President and colleagues. First of all, Councilmember Lozada, I know Councilmember Ahmed and I are very excited for our tour of the Kensington area with you, which is tomorrow. It's been hard for us to schedule this, but we look forward to going through the neighborhood with you and sharing this experience. I wanted to take a minute to just thank Rabbi Ari Lev Fernari and Rabbi Monica Gomri of my synagogue, Kol Tzedek, for joining us in City Council today and for their invocation and song. Your presence here today was deeply appreciated and underscores the importance of community solidarity in a time of division and our obligations to speak out against injustices. So thank you for being here, and as Councilman Jones said, let's all pray for peace. Today I was also pleased to present a resolution alongside Councilmember Thomas declaring May 9th, 2024, Black Teacher Appreciation Day in the city of Philadelphia. This day serves as a celebration of the remarkable contributions made by Black teachers throughout our city, but it also highlights our desperate need for more Black educators. In 40% of all public schools nationwide, there are no teachers of color. In urban high-poverty areas, the disparity in teacher diversity is even worse. While there's great need, there's also great opportunities to change the historic systemic removal of Black men and women from the national teacher pipeline. So I want to thank the Center for Black Educator Development for your work and for your sharing public comment today on this important issue. Secondly, I was honored to introduce a resolution alongside Councilmember Brooks designating May 10th, 2024 as Child Care Provider Appreciation Day in the City of Philadelphia. This day serves as a tribute to the essential role that child care providers play in our community. They're the pillars of support for our families, nurturing our children, and enabling parents to work while knowing their children are safe and cared for. Child care programs are mostly small businesses run by women, mostly women of color, and they're still coming back from the financial hits of the pandemic. So as they grow and try to get stronger and care for more families, we're so happy to lift up their work. Their tireless efforts in shaping the early years of our children's lives deserve our utmost recognition and appreciation. And finally, a quick reminder that I'm holding a lunch briefing today at 1:30 with Federal Housing Lending Bank Pittsburgh, our FHL Bank Pittsburgh today is at 1:30. It's in the caucus room. And learn about over $100 million in community investment funding available this year, partnership opportunities, and other FHL Bank Pittsburgh initiatives that can help our entire city. Thank you so much. I hope you and your staff can be there today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rue. And the chair recognizes Councilmember Jeffrey J. Young.
Thank you, Mr. President. First and foremost, I just want to say and wish Happy Mother's Day to my colleagues who are mothers. Give a shout out to my mom. She's probably watching. My soon-to-be mother-in-law and my fiance as well. My sister, Happy Mother's Day. I want to thank Councilwoman Brooks for honoring O'Shea Sibley. I had the pleasure of knowing O'Shea as a child, as a student at Girard College. His brother Darius was in my class at Girard College. So, you know, it really touched home for me. And I want to show my continued support for the Black queer community in this city and across the country because, you know, something got to give. Like, people should be free to express themselves, to be their authentic selves without fear of violence or death. The youth that were here today kind of inspired me. I want to give a special shout out to the Youth Commission, the youth commissioners that were here. I was on the first cohort of the Philadelphia Youth Commission. I was the very first youth commissioner for the 5th Council District. So to those youth commissioners, your dreams can come true if you just keep going and keep moving forward. I also introduced a resolution today naming this week as Well-Being in the Law Week. This is a week that's celebrated nationally for attorneys and lawyers across the country. Lawyers are 8th in suicide rates in the country. While 7% of the folks are diagnosed with depression, that number is 28% for lawyers. Lawyers are reportedly 19% of those with anxiety, 21% of those with alcohol addiction, and 11% with drug addiction. So we have to, as attorneys, we take on other people's problems, internalize them, but we don't really take care of ourselves at the same rate. And so I just want to give a special shout out to all the lawyers. Remember to take care of ourselves because we deal with other people's problems every single day. I wasn't here last week to give a special shout out to, or offer my condolences to the family of Jean Hackney. She's the founder of Grands as Parents and a proud North Philadelphia resident. So I want to offer her family my condolences. Now, to the good part. So first and foremost, I want to let my constituents know that I will always fight for the 5th district. That will not change. So according to a RFP issued by the city on May 3rd by the Managing Director's Office, the city has identified several locations for consideration for the design of triage, treatment, and recovery facilities for individuals with histories of substance abuse disorders, and homelessness. Now, these facilities are set out to handle pre-triage, emergency triage, residential services, high-intensity residential services, inpatient services, recovery houses, temporary housing, permanent independent living, the spectrum. The city put out an RFP for a consultant for these types of matters for properties that have been identified, right? But I'm just going to read the statement that I issued last week on this. So throughout the budget process, I have been concerned about the lack of transparency from the Parker administration on the proposed plan for triage centers to combat the addiction crisis in Kensington. Of course, we all know by now there was an article that came out that the proposed location for a facility will be in the 5th District at 2100 West Girard Avenue, a facility that's owned by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. It's deeply troubling because there has been no engagement with my office, with the Fairmont community, and with the surrounding neighborhoods. This proposed location is currently zoned RM1, which does not allow any hospitals or medical facilities without approval of the Zoning Board of Adjustment. So let's be clear, I do not support a triage center at this location without undergoing a thorough review and discussion with the community to address potential implications. This facility is in close proximity to 4 schools, including my alma mater, Girard College, which is right across the street. It is unacceptable to undertake such a significant project without consulting the communities and stakeholders who will be most affected. While I appreciate the Parker administration's efforts to combat the opioid crisis in Kensington, we must focus on solutions that meet people where they are to provide immediate critical medical care they desperately need. So I look forward to continuing to work with the Parker administration on finding solutions to these issues and figuring out how we as a community can work together to solve these problems. But essentially, none of our questions have been answered by the administration. And it's very frustrating because I am the one who have to get all the phone calls from residents who are upset about, their neighborhood potentially housing 400 individuals dealing with opioid addiction, right? And so I'm looking forward to the transparency. I'm looking forward to answers as we continue to work together to solve this crisis. So thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. As there are no more speeches from members, I just want to say happy Mother's Day to the ladies of City Council, that you enjoy this weekend and continue to keep up the good work. With that being said, I would like to recognize Councilmember Catherine Gilmore Richardson for a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that council stand adjourned until Thursday, May 16, 2024 at 10 a.m.
It has been moved and properly seconded that council stand adjourned till Thursday, May the 16th, 2024 at 10 a.m. All those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it, and the motion carries. Thank you very much, everyone.